That boy 6'9", 270.
Wow, that ain't never like 220.
Yeah, 220, 230 at the most. We like my love, bro.
Right, Shalom, brother.
How you doing?
Bless. How you doing, brother?
What's up, young man?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right, how you be, man? Good to see you, man. You all right? Good. Welcome on back.
What I'm saying, okay, so
He got the chat on YouTube. I got the chat on
still
YouTube.
gonna see what we don't want on this camera. What you saying?
If they were, right? So I just pressed live. This right here should have been what's been holding me up, but I didn't press it. And it's still not showing anything on sales. Even if I go to YouTube, it's still.
You all right? All right?
See, I typed the class.
Don't worry about the title, man. You can read what's going
That's basically fail. Y'all, you in a ditch, you say? Yeah, man, it's a cutout. They cut out in Old Fallon
So you been working out there? You
and they didn't fill it all the way on you there. And if I'd been going a little bit faster, I'd probably went straight off it because I was going so slow. It took that front wheel.
There's a difference in riding a horse and a rear wheel. You can't ride the short.
Even though I changed the title.
No, I'm just saying, we good.
We good, we live.
Change that title.
Yeah, I can change that later. I can't change it on the fly. I can't change it right now.
But that ain't gonna show us even more.
That's a different idea. Gonna break it down in the line.
I'm already on call.
Is it all night?
I had to go down there last night with some milk.
Oh, that's saying, is it kid friendly? No. Is it kid friendly? Yes. If I press yes, it's kid friendly. It's kid friendly. That means the person can be involved, especially or not being important. I did that already. That right there, I should change the name of the class. You can see it's
We'll tell them we'll change the name. Okay, bro.
So we good then.
So just tell them we'll change that name.
That's for the light, the tank. You see that? Yeah, they sent you the tank. I figured what is it?
Oh, that's what they doing. They probably change it.
Regulations said.
Right, change the title.
Yeah, we got it. I done rebooted my stuff. We on.
When you
Yeah, we on. We can hear it. I can see it, hear everything.
They sensitive title.
We good.
I got that name changed.
You did what?
Yeah, I just I can see
Change
things
it
like
to
that
Genesis
right now.
19 then if
I'm
it'll let you.
saying they won't give me the name change. Prince of the Earth will change the name later. Prince of the Earth.
Oh yeah, because it got y'all on there.
We good.
Yeah,
We good.
Yeah, we going 100.
Yeah, it's live. So YouTube busting us up about the name. More or less.
Here, take that instant.
Where the light go? Where the light go? Let me get your light.
Oh, we keep having this over here.
Every time you bring one, they stop working. Y'all just gotta learn how to hold this thing.
Then it burn your lighter up.
Lighters get bought again.
She going back.
I buy about a 6-pack.
I get it before the right.
I was looking y'all.
Right here, I have to hold it up. Hey, just stop getting it in there.
this.
book
It's
we
something
use.
right. Well, what they did was they made an update, and I was using the old classic version, but they making me use.
There it is. Look at that.
I looked everywhere.
Talk to the camera, man. Talk to the people.
Look, I'm gonna blow them out and try it again.
Talk to the people.
Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family, y'all. We sincerely apologize for the late start.
Sorry about that, family.
Had some issues with YouTube. Didn't like our title of today's class, so it handicapped us a bit, y'all. But we live streaming now, so y'all, we're gonna get it going. I'm not gonna expound as much today. We're gonna get right to it and hold our responses to the end of the chapters that we're gonna read today.
Don't
so
hold
we get
my
caught up.
brother's words against
What
him,
you saying, Zebediah Boaz?
Don't hold my brother's words against me.
Yes, sir.
Not liars this Sabbath.
Right. So, what we're gonna do, y'all, we're gonna make sure we get through this because we've already lost an hour. So, y'all, we're gonna speed this up as quick as we can. And like I say, Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful and safe Sabbath today, so we get this prayer going on. Y'all know how we do it. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. As mentioned, go ahead, Elijah.
1 Kings chapter 8.
Daniel chapter 10.
Men uncover, women cover, when praying or prophesying in the assembly.
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 11. We extend our hands to the heavens, giving all praise and honor to our Elohim. That's 1 Tim 2:8.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all, we're going to get this open in prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only beloved and begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, and we know him as Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 39th chapter, it reads, I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle, while the wicked is before me. I was dumb with silence. I held my peace, even from good. And my sorrow was stirred. My heart was hot within me. While I was musing, the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue, Yahweh, make me to know mine end, and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am. Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah. Selah. Surely every man walketh in a vain show. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heapeth up riches and knoweth not who shall gather them. And now, Yahweh, what wait I for? My hope is in thee. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Make me not the reproach of the foolish. I was dumb. I opened not my mouth, because thou didst it. Remove thy stroke away from me. I am consumed by the blow of thine hand. When thou with rebukes dost correct man for iniquity, thou makest his beauty to consume away like a moth. Surely every man is vanity. Selah. Selah. Hear my prayer, O Yahweh, and give ear unto my cries. Hold not thy pace against my tears, for I am a stranger with thee, and a sojourner as all my fathers were. Oh, spare me, that I may recover strength before I go hence and be no more. Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes, sir. All right, y'all, for, like I say once again, the title that you see out there may be still referring to Emar's bar class last Tuesday, or was it Thursday?
Thursday.
So y'all, we'll get that class, the name edited at the end. It's a problem with YouTube. I guess apparently they didn't like the title that we were going to title this class. And this title is called The Sin of Sodom. So y'all, this is a sin of a city and 5 cities round about it in like manner. So y'all, it's not one particular sin like most people talk about. It includes the 4 sides as well as all laws do. Free and bond, male or female. Every law in this Bible addresses every point from that perspective, even if it cancels out an individual, free or bond, male or female. Like Leviticus 1928, the beard law. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The beard law. That law is not for a female. If it is, you got some problems. It's one thing with a little chinny chin hair.
Right.
But it's another thing she looking like Rick Ross.
The bearded lady.
And a dress on. Yeah, that's just, so y'all, we want to make a distinction on that every law don't apply to every individual, but that law has to be explained away when an individual is excluded. You must do that. If you don't, you'll start to exclude yourself out of laws that's for you. So we always got to hit it from 4 sides. So whenever you're dealing with sin, always remember, y'all, free or bond, male or female. Is how the Most High judges. Even though you one flesh, yeah, he's still going to judge your wife separately from you because he's judging the intents of the heart. Because some of you can be married and it's just for show.
Right, it's just a paper.
Yes, sir. So we want to be clear on that, y'all, so we ain't going to belabor the matter any longer. So the sin of Sodom, y'all, is the class today. And what we're talking about, what technically is the sin of Sodom? Well, we always hear anal sex between men. You know, you say the men that pounded on Lot's door, and that's where we start. But we missed the beginning of Genesis 19:1. That word, when the angels came, hospitality was a major, or I should say is a major part of our loving our brother and loving our neighbor as ourselves. That's way before you even get to what's happening in the city.
Yes.
You have to be hospitable. A man cannot show himself to be a friend, friendly unless he's a friend already. So y'all, we have to understand these things. What took place that the sin of Sodom reached to heaven? So it was a conglomerate of things that were going on in Sodom that we have to include, unless we just gonna keep pointing the fingers at one part of that sin. Then you're gonna leave out behavior that you may be doing,
Right.
which caused you to be pointed at and said you're committing the sin of Sodom. And we're going to get to the Messiah the way he talks about it, because he says there was an event that was happening that he said it's going to be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than for you in this day. But there's a behavior that's happening before he says that. And we're going to see what that is, y'all. But we're going to get into it. Got a few scriptures to go. So let's not belabor the point any longer. Let's get right to a definition. So, like, and this is it kind of, we don't want to say through a monkey wrench, but it had a lot of head scratching last week. Don't tell them what you say, Elijah.
Yeah.
Okay. Get the dictionary for me.
Yeah.
Give me that dictionary. So we understand Webster.
This goes back to the definition that I had given last Sabbath of sodomy, which is the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition.
That's right.
However, we must also be able to tie in whatever definition we seek or find. It has to be able to be tied in with the definition of the Most High, and according to scriptures. Because the Most High said, count his words true and every man's word alike.
That's right.
That's right.
So the source has to be of the Most High first, and then anything of man is a resource, because it has to come from the source itself. So according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, sodomy is the action of anal and oral copulation.
Right.
According to God's law, sodomy is not mentioned in the scriptures, sodomite is.
That's right.
So there's a different definition attached to sodomite as opposed to just sodomy. Sodomy being the action of one sin. Now, also throughout the scriptures, you have to understand that any sexual immorality is defined by anything, activity outside of marriage.
Say it again, Elijah.
Any activity outside of marriage is called immoral sexual activity. That's why in Hebrews 13 he says, he that is married, the marriage is honorable above all, and the marriage bed undefiled.
Yes, sir.
Because long as it's a coition or a consensual activity between the man and his wife, then things are legal. Most High does not enter any judgment as to what's going on in a man's bed chamber between him and his female, his wife.
So I'm going to read a quick definition in Webster, but we're going to get into the scripture to help you understand. Sodom, a city of ancient Palestine that with Gomorrah was destroyed by fire because of the depravity of its inhabitants. So Gomorrah was the name of an individual that got off the ark. So that part of the land, all it's talking about is the land mass. So we want to be clear on that. So it's talking about the land mass. And then it got Sodomite, an inhabitant of Sodom. Well, we got a problem with this already because Lot was, where did Lot live?
Sodom.
So is he a Sodomite?
I'm reading the strong definition of Sodomite.
Now, you have to really think about this. If it's talking about the land, if Americans like Sodom and Gomorrah, and we call ourselves Americans, are we saying we Sodomites?
No.
In that sense,
you are.
would be.
Because y'all listen to what we're saying. We're naming the land
The
the
land
city.
mass
It's
as-
not the land, it's the people
The
of that
inhabitants.
land.
The inhabitants.
See, because if we do that, then all of us living here in America are Sodomites.
Or Babylonians.
Or Babylonians or Americans. So that's what it's saying. So we get the understanding of that first, that the behavior didn't name the city.
Right.
The people of that city named it. Notice it said Canaan too. Like Canaan is called, is going to be renamed New Jerusalem.
Right.
But it's still called the land of Canaan today. And why would he send Abraham to that land? So would Abraham be considered a Canaanite if he took up residence there? Only from the standpoint of where your geographical location, where you dwell at in your house. Like Simon was the Canaanite. He was not a Canaanite. He just lived in there because none of the disciples were of any other nation. All the disciples were Israelites, but we got a word that it says Simon the Canaanite. What does that mean? So did he have a Leviticus 18, a Leviticus 20 boy running with the other 11 disciples? So now we're gonna get right past that, y'all, so we get some good understanding on that. Sodomy, anal copulation of one male with another. In some legal usage, anal or oral copulation with a member of the opposite sex or copulation with an animal.
Oh, bestiality.
So it covers some more ground, y'all, of what we're talking about, y'all, and we're going to keep this as clean as we can for the short legs. But what we're talking about is a practice, and how does that line up with Hebrews 13, 1 through 4, the bed, the marriage bed undefiled, but everything outside of that is corrupt. Does that mean you can do whatever you want to in your bed? Can a woman wrap sandpaper around these two fingers and shove it up a man's brain?
Not in live.
Because it's the marriage bed.
Not in live.
What you say? Not in live. So we want to understand that we're not saying anything goes.
No, not at all.
Not at all, y'all. What we're talking about, just like we say we're not marriage counselors, right, and we're counseling the arguments. That's what most people want to do. What she's saying is, if we can't counsel that and give you instruction that, we for damn sure can't go behind the door,
Right.
and tell you what you can do, because you know what's going to happen next after that? Then positions is coming up next. So do we deal with Songs of Solomon 4, or do we promote Kama Sutra? Which is a thing that says 53 different positions. So that will be next. Then we'll have to get into that with you. And you cannot, how you going to instruct her? No, now look, baby, if that's what he likes, You have to put them handcuffs on and connect one to the chandelier. Do what that man is asking you. You cannot instruct them to do it, because next, like I say, she may want to wrap sandpaper.
That was good.
All right, man, let's get in the script.
Okay.
I got a question, a comment.
Go ahead, bro.
So what I'm hearing is that English words are weak compared to the Hebrew and the biblical meaning of the same word. Yes, sir.
Well, the only thing that's weak is the meaning.
Right.
Like you have a Black's Law Dictionary. You can't go into court with this dictionary for law. Black Law Dictionary titles things differently. Like a habeas corpus, and this may mean something different. Maybe a dead body on the side of the road. But that's not according to Law's Black Dictionary. They have a different set of rules for the courtroom. You have to know those definitions to deal with the courtroom. That's why sovereignty don't work in an American courtroom. Why it don't work? Because they can summon you, no matter how sovereign you say you are, they can summon you and say, be here on this day or we putting a warrant on you. Now try them and see if it don't happen. So this is the only thing we're saying, y'all. The Bible describes things a little bit different. So what we wanted to do is to show you an example of that. Give me right quick, y'all. We're going to run through these really quickly. Give me a Genesis 16. We're going to go 4 through 9, and then Genesis, well, we're going to hit Genesis 16, 4 through 9. And what we're talking about is the word mistress. Now, to everybody out there, what is a mistress?
Side chick.
The what?
Side chick.
He say it's the side chick, and Webster say it's the side chick or the secondary wife, the concubine. So we've always been told that a mistress was the side chick. But when you think about how you fill out information, that people that's legally married is Mr. and what's the woman title? Mrs. or mistress. It only applies to those two. How the side woman got in here and the language became that is the hospitality change on the laws of God. Right now, there's a mad push for this. G. Wade is about to let his son dictate the rest of his life, so there's no train up a child the way he should go.
Millstone.
The child is training up the parents the way they should go. Now they mad at Lil Bootsy, but Lil Bootsy got to understand he's been persecuted for the word, because Lil Bootsy said if he gay, let him do that, but don't cut the boy's manhood off. He's only not 12 or however old. He may change his mind in 3 years. The hormone's going to overpower him, that his male DNA is going to take over, and he done got rid of a part. Not because he's been trained that way, it's because his parents let him do what the sin of Sodom was. These things were taking place in Sodom. So we have to understand it was just a city that bad behavior was. Atlanta was not like what Atlanta was till that big boom hit. And then Atlanta became the Black San Francisco. Wasn't that at first? It wasn't until an influx of jobs came that they opened the door for it. And now you got all types of clubs down there. Breeding.
Festering.
Yes, sir. So let's get right to, give me that Genesis 16, 4 through 9. Hit 3.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 3. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid.
Her what?
Her maid.
Okay, so this is before Abraham ever touched her. Go ahead.
The Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan.
So look, 10 years in the land of Canaan. Now what's going on in Canaan? We ain't supposed to be like the Canaanites, right?
Right.
Why is the Most High putting a righteous man in the land full of wickedness? Go ahead. You know what I'm saying. Go ahead.
And gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar.
Right.
And she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Her what?
Mistress.
So who is this talking about? Hagar or Sarah? Who is the mistress? Who was despised? It sure ain't Hagar. She ain't despised. She got Abraham's firstborn child in her belly. So then again, we see the mistress, but read on some more on down to verse 9.
Verse 5. And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee.
Right.
I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
So we right here, we see who was despised and after the death, didn't it?
Yep.
So we see that Sarah is the mistress or the missus of the household, the one who has power and control, and you will see that also in Webster. It says the lady of the house that has the power and control. Right? Let's read some more.
Somebody got their hand.
Go ahead, bro.
Is she, in her feelings, as they say? I don't like using that term.
Yeah, she is.
But
she in her feelings?
when she blaming, she blaming her husband for this.
No, she blaming
No, she said,
herself.
No, no,
my
yeah.
wrong be upon
She
thee.
said, my wrong be upon me.
It says thee. She says, and he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised her. And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee.
So she said, or you said, she said, I blame you for my wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, when I use the term about her being in her feelings, is that she, just because he, it's not like he happy in that sense of, I got a son now and stuff like that, but she's saying what she did, she's blaming him for.
No, it almost seems like that. That's what it's saying, but she said, the wrong I did is upon you. So when we get down further, you will see exactly what she meant. Because like I'm saying, y'all, this is Bible language. She's not blaming Abraham. She's technically blaming herself. As we get through, you'll see Sarah explains herself.
Okay.
When we get into the book of Jasher, you'll see it, and that's where we're going next. So just hold that thought, y'all. Hold that thought, because it seems that way. Go ahead.
Because what you have to understand, Abraham didn't even ask for it.
Right, exactly.
So if she's blaming him, we know that's just her did something she don't want to be responsible for.
Right.
So if she blaming Abraham, is it the part that she got pregnant? Is this a repeat of Rachel saying to Jacob, give me children or I die? He said, woman, I'm not God. So even though the act was done by the woman, she said basically, you supposed to fix this so it goes right. Even though what I did was wrong, that's a wrong thing. That's why Jacob answered, am I God? The handmaid you gave me, her belly swole. So are you blaming me that if something I'm doing, I'm decreasing my count when I come to you? I turn the volume down to 1. But to all these other women, I turned it up to 10 so that they have children. Is that what she's saying to him? And he had to explain to her, you ain't mad at me, you really mad at God. So as we get on, we'll get some understanding, bro, because I know what it looks like. Go ahead, bro.
Verse
6.
I didn't finish 5. Verse 5 again. And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
See, and then again, is she saying thee like she pointed to myself? See,
So you say right here, you finish that.
Right, finish
the
that.
Lord judge between me and thee.
Right.
She said, my wrong be upon thee. My wrong be upon thee.
right, because she brought, look, you could bring wrong upon somebody. She's basically saying,
Right.
what I did to you, I brought this upon you because
Right.
it's grief for Abraham.
Right, to lose Ishmael when she put him out the house.
It's a divorce coming.
Right.
My wrong be upon thee. My wrong is upon you.
Right. I see it now to where it wasn't good that I allowed you to have this son.
Right. So my wrong is on you.
Right, there it is.
Just like, and let me just say this real quick, just like when Rebecca said, he said, I'll bring a curse on me if I trick daddy. What she say? Thy curse be upon who?
Me?
Thy curse be upon me, but who got cursed?
You?
Who tricked, was Rebecca tricked or did Laban trick Jacob for 20 years?
Laban tricked Jacob.
So who the curse fall on?
Still fell on Jacob.
Okay, y'all, let's keep reading.
All right, okay.
I got here 5 again.
Yeah.
And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Most High judged between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence comest thou? And whither wilt thou go?
What verse you in?
8.
Okay.
And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai.
Who she flee from?
Her mistress.
So we see here again, Hagar is telling you who the mistress is. I flee from my mistress Sarah. So even though this tells us that the mistress is the side woman is telling you who the mistress is according to the Bible.
Right, the Bible.
So we have to be careful when we use the resource. It must match up with the source. That's all we're saying, y'all. That's why we just went to this one. But y'all, you can hold that or you want to hit verse 9. Hit verse 9.
Oh, sorry.
My bad, I distracted him.
Verse 9. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, Return to thy mistress.
Return to who?
Thy mistress.
Who is she talking to? Who is the angel talking to?
Talking to
Hagar. Go ahead. Return to who?
Sarai.
What did he call her? What did the angel call her? That's what we get. Go ahead.
And submit thyself under her hand.
And submit thyself under her hand unto the woman that's in charge of the household.
Right. Head lady. Get yourself in order.
Get yourself in order.
Boss lady.
The boss lady. Go ahead. Is that finish that? Okay, let's get right to some more understanding of these. Going to be some quick hitters. Psalm 123 and 2. Give me Proverbs 30 and 23. Just in one hitters, real quick. Y'all can read before and after. But we got to roll. We're trying to get caught up here really quickly.
I see the Most High meaning is different from the world meaning.
Yes, sir.
Because the Most High is a spirit, and all those that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and truth.
Right.
So the spirit overrided the flesh.
That's right.
So the flesh can never mount up to the spirit. That's why the Most High said, if you don't come unto Him in the spirit, then you cannot obtain eternal life, because the flesh has enmity with the spirit.
And the flesh gonna leave things out.
It's gonna leave a whole bunch of things out because it lusted.
It's the
Lusted
flesh.
for worldly things.
That's right. Okay.
You said Psalms 123.
Psalm 123 verse 2 and Proverbs 30 and 23. Let's hit them really quickly.
Psalms 123 verse 2.
What's that?
Behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress.
Y'all see that? So this backs up what it was just saying in Genesis. So we see like the eyes of a servant to its master, like Eleazar was to Abraham, like a maid is to her mistress, like Hagar was to Sarah. So you see the words is still put Mr. and Mrs. in charge of the house.
Yes, sir.
And decide people, so to speak. It can only be one king and one queen in the house.
Yes, sir.
Teach that.
That's why we got to really get with this hospitality, because men will think hospitality is moving somebody in your house, another man, and they start hanging their pictures of their children on a bedroom. It ain't never happened in these scriptures. Nobody ever lasted more than 1 or 2 days, and the owner of the house begged them to stay. Hospitality never was, because it would break a law if you let a grown man, grow up in your house that's your partner. The script don't tell you to love your neighbor like that, because you're going to have 2 kings in one house. And then you're going to be wondering what he's doing in your house while you at work. And I'm not saying nothing crazy, because your wife may be at work, but he looking in drawers.
That's right.
Who drawers is he pulling open looking in? Trying on your clothes while you at work.
And then you and then you allow your brethren to be slothful, to become a beggar.
Right. And to depend on another man's table. So hit that Proverbs 30, 23. We're going to move right along.
What your wife cooking today, dog?
Right, right. What your wife cooking tonight, dog? Man, she know I don't like that. Right. What you mean she know I don't like that?
What she
You
doing?
eat for free.
What she doing working overtime? She got to get money.
Right.
You didn't read something.
No, he just said, I did.
Yeah, just read it. 123 and 2.
It was just a one hit.
It's one hit. 30 and 23. Proverbs.
Ketchup? Proverbs what?
30 and 23.
30 and 23.
Yeah.
For an odious woman, when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress.
So if you bag it up, all it's saying is an odious woman is talking about a woman that's against her husband. Because when you get into Sirach 25, all of it talks about a wife, bad behavior. An odious woman is in there. That means a can't be controlled type of woman.
Running off at the mouth.
It's the same thing, right? Running off at the mouth. It's the same thing as a maid with her mistress. To talk like what Hagar was doing, just rubbing her belly in front of her. Ooh, he kicking. Abraham firstborn is kicking in front of her. Now she's been with Abraham for 60, 70, 80 years and ain't been able to do that. That was the mocking. So this, all y'all, we're just showing you, just run down a few scripts to show you the difference in how you must take Bible primary and resources second. That's what they are, resources. Oh, so y'all, we can hold that. Let's get right to Elijah. Genesis 19 and 1. And what we're talking about, y'all, is what is the sin of the city of Sodom and the other 5 surrounding cities around. So when we read this, y'all, we want y'all to start thinking about Los Angeles.
And also what constitutes being labeled a sodomite.
Right. Or an inhabitant of that city of Sodom. Because the word sodomy is not in the Bible.
Not at all. It's the act of, but that includes other criteria.
Yes.
That labels a sodomite.
Y'all hear what Daniel said? We finna branch out from East St. Louis, where we always at. We go to Los Angeles.
But what you'll see is that homosexuality is actually the tail end of the sins of a sodomite.
That's the last half of it.
That's the end of it.
There's a part when you get to the city first.
Right. That happens.
Then you get introduced to beating on Lot's door. So we want to get to the beginning of the city. Because you're in error there. If you're practicing that, you're still a sodomite. You may not be doing the knocking on the door, but if you're doing this front part, is it the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Conspiracy to commit murder, even though you was driving the car,
You get the same punishment.
you get the same punishment. Because it's still, you may not pull the trigger, but you were complacent in the activity. So you said, I didn't pull the trigger. Well, we're going to give you the not pull the trigger part of the sentence.
That's right.
We're going to give him the trigger part. So let's keep moving, y'all. Where we at?
19 and 1.
19 and 1. Go ahead, y'all.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 1. And it reads, And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them.
Tell you what, let's go back. That's the part of Lot. I want to get when the 2 came to Abraham. Let's get 18. Yeah. 18 and 1. And then we'll jump to 19 and 1.
That's right.
Read 18 and 1 through 6. Tell you what. Through 9. Go ahead. So y'all, we get some understanding, y'all, because look, the same 2 angels is visiting 2 different groups of people. It's visiting where Abraham lives in the land of Canaan, which is loaded with all type of crimes as well. And then we're going to jump to 19 and where those same 2 angels go see, we're going to see how they're greeted with hospitality where Lot dwells.
Bring us the men.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let's get it.
The book of Genesis. Boy, you crazy. The book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 1. Let's get some understanding.
Yes, sir.
And the Most High appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them at the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee.
So you see how Abraham is picking up Hebrews 13 and 1. Don't be careful to entertain strangers, because it could be angels unaware. Entertainment means to set it out, so to speak, or to welcome somebody that's coming through. You may not know who they are. Does that mean let anybody in your house? No. He see them and then you try the spirit. You just can't let nobody come in your house and they smile and they wait for you to go to sleep.
And this is where you get Southern hospitality.
Yes, sir. What do you call it again?
Southern hospitality, because it was commonplace, because my grandparents were big on it. Anyone that was passing by the house, they brought them in to feed them. And it used to amaze me as a child, because we come from a project where, you know, everybody ate at each other's houses. But it was rare, but we all knew each other.
Right.
It was rare that you were stopping somebody you didn't know.
Right.
And bringing them into your household to feed them. But they always talked to them before they brought them in to eat.
Yes, sir.
Because they tried the spirit first. And they would ask where you from, who's your mama, daddy, or whatever.
Right.
What church you go
Don't
to?
you do well, the nephew? Come on in and give me something to eat.
Right.
And let me whoop you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll whoop you too.
And we're going to see that in the book of Tobit as well. Go ahead, brother.
I pray thee from thy servant. Verse 4. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree.
So what's the very first thing he did? He gave them rest from their journey. The first thing you do, when somebody come to your house, y'all, the terms just change a little bit. We say, oh man, sit down, put your feet up, put the feet up. Try the lazy boy out.
Take a load off.
Take a load off. What are you taking a load off? Even if you're a heavy person, what is the load being lifted off of? Off your feet.
Your burden.
And so basically, or like people have today, you got to pull their shoes off if they got carpet in there. Because you're dragging all the outside into their house. So they would take your feet off, because most people wore sandals and it's dusty and it's sandy. Take a look, and we're going to wash your feet. We're going to refresh the part of you so you can continue on your journey.
Get that toe jam.
Get that toe jam, whatever it is, boy.
And you also find that those that were passerbys didn't want to stay longer than they needed to. Because they had missions and they had things that they had to attend to. So they weren't going from house to house just lounging on them, man.
They would not brag about
That's what Paul was saying. He said, you can't put that kind of blame on me, because I put in my own work, I fed myself, and when I needed help, those brothers came through for me, but I didn't sit back and rely upon their alms and their charities to get myself through.
Right.
I put in work when I had to and fed myself.
Oh, let me find y'all the same bitches.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread.
Right.
And comfort ye your hearts.
Right.
After that ye shall pass on. For
See, hold on, what did he say? After I feed y'all, y'all gonna do what?
Pass on.
You gonna get going.
Yeah.
See, you can't fool nobody to make them believe they Abraham because you've been in their house for 2 months. Nigga, I'm gonna tell you, nigga, you just like Abraham.
You in my house for 2 months, you ain't gonna call me Abraham. I can tell you right now.
But see, the individual who don't understand the hospitality part will stick his chest out and smile and look in the mirror and think he's like Abraham. But what you're doing, you're harboring a vagabond. Let's read some more. Go ahead.
For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, so do as thou hast said.
See, and he quickly calls himself their servant, because he said, this is the Lord and these angels. Go ahead.
And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it.
So he had servants that prepared his food. Man dressed this up, we got company. Now what kind of meat are they eating?
Calf.
Okay, go ahead.
And he took butter.
And he took what?
Butter.
Okay.
And milk. And the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them.
Right.
And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
So we got supernatural beings eating, you know, because we have to understand margarine and these artificial butters and things do us harm.
That's right.
Usually because if we look at butter and milk and certain things, we're going to have a problem with curds and whey. It said Messiah would know the difference and he would be raised on curds and whey. That's like the stuff that comes up to the top of milk, you scrape that off. That's what's used. You know, so that's what we have to understand. That's what makes the butter. You churn it and you take the top part and it makes the butter. The impurities is in the bottom, just like when you throw meat on the grill, what falls in the fire? And all of the blood and the grease. So y'all, we have to understand these things was there. What's happening is we getting a lot of manufactured stuff with a lot of preservatives in it. So milk and stuff lasts so long, it's like that so it stay on the shelf for 2 months.
That's right.
It's some people, when they get to the expiry, they put their milk in the freezer. That means you already got it from Aldi's. So it's already been sent from Snooks and Dearbergs to Aldi 2 days before the expiration date. Now you trying to preserve it some more. But you got to understand those Edomites thinking they the Jews, they think they have the spiritual bread. And then when everybody eat out in Ladue shopping there, then they send the common bread to Aldi's and shopping say to us. Is it illegal? No, it ain't. I mean, you're still eating bread, but you're just saying you're not getting it as fresh as they got it.
That's right.
See, because you may dig in that Aldi bread, there may be a green spot in there.
Yes, sir.
Middle way. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 9.
Man, all this fire, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm all these advocates.
That's right. And y'all look. When you wouldn't do no work, my mama said you say you're gonna be a bag of bones. But country talk, she meant to say vagabond.
That's right.
But when you look it up, it's just men who bounce from house to house, living from house to house, living from house to house. When she said bag of bombs, I just pictured a big penitentiary laundry sack, and you throw it on the ground, about 5 hobos fall out. A bag of bombs. That's what, you know, I'm gonna be in that bag. Right, it's the same thing, but it's how we misunderstood things. Like when you hear them say little tutor, when you hear, man, why y'all call it little tutor? It actually means little sister. But that country give them.
Couldn't feed them.
Yeah, little tutor.
Couldn't feed them.
They couldn't say little sister.
Right.
Go ahead, let's read on you.
Verse 9.
What it say?
And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent.
So we can hold right there. So we see the first hospitality is how you greet somebody when you first meet. This don't mean everybody got to open up their house. This is why we can't forsake the assembly. This is the assembly. We gonna have visitors, y'all. Do we show them bad hospitality?
No.
So can we leave them hungry, naked, and cold? We got to make sure heat on down her. We got to make sure something to eat over there. We're going to be here for 3 hours, and then you're going to send them on their way with nothing to eat? Because somebody said, y'all ain't supposed to be eating on the Sabbath.
If you put in your arsenal Sirach chapter 12, so we don't have to go there because we press the time.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Sirach chapter 12, verse 2 through 7. It tells us not to give our alms just to everybody that pass by, but you need to try the spirit. He says, give not that to a sinner, just like cast not your pearls before swine.
To the poor and needy.
Yeah, he says to the poor and needy, those who are godly men.
Right.
So you got to try the spirit to make sure that you're entertaining a godly spirit.
That's right.
Before you bring them in the house and feed them, because you might be bringing in a serial killer.
Sure
Talking
will.
about, oh, I just need a morsel of bread, and while you turn around, he killing everybody in the house.
I understand that.
But then again,
So you have to try the spirit to make sure that he that you bringing in amongst your loved ones is that of a godly spirit, and not coming to harm your loved one.
Right.
And you let your defense down.
you see it for yourself, man. I mean, y'all see, we don't close our doors to anybody. We welcome everybody that has an ear, they can come down here, but then we let some in here that you know, didn't have our best interest at heart, who had ulterior motives, and y'all see how that worked out.
Well, but like I said, it's still the hospitality that we show.
Right, we
See,
show
if they disrespect your hospitality, you kick them out. See, but the bottom line is, if they come for good intention because they said, look, it's because ain't nobody coming in here that ain't heard from nobody else, and that's what we have to do as a church. Who invited you? See, we need to know. Okay, what did you hear about us on the internet? What do you believe? Well, gee, they said y'all was Hebrews, and you know, y'all don't talk about white folks, and y'all don't let them in there. Y'all do everything according to what they do in One West. No, we don't. Somebody misinformed you about down here. See, if you come down here and don't like what's down here, who invited you? You got invited to come down here and you didn't like what you saw. Whoever invited you didn't inform you, or they were plotting something on us. Let's get some more.
Why would you want to be somewhere where you don't want
You ain't want it.
Right. We're going to the book of Genesis in the 19th chapter. And we'll start our reading there at verse 1 as well.
So y'all, what I wanted y'all to see was the blessing that Abraham got. And y'all read the rest of it, not to cut you off. Abraham, they told him, we finna go to Sodom and destroy it. We're gonna kill everybody in there. He said, my nephew's there and his family. Will you kill it if it's 50 righteous? If it's 50, 40, 30, 20. Abraham like, wait a minute. You mean 5 cities ain't nobody doing right? So if y'all thinking about Sodom and Gomorrah, then that's 5 cities of everybody doing anal. That wasn't what it was, y'all. It was some more stuff involved with that to make the Most High look down and say, this place is so wicked.
We'll hit that Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Joshua 19.
You know we're gonna hit it. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 1.
Right.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at evening, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them.
What'd he do?
He rose up to meet them.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Go ahead.
And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground.
So are we supposed to do this to common men? No. So he saw something that made him get prostrate. You know, we need to find out, was he supposed to do this to an angel? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night.
See, so who he call himself?
Their servant.
Their servant. So this is an understanding of a man trained by Abraham. Is not, he know what to look for. When he see men coming, because they're not dressed like Sodomites. Right. Or he would have never rolled up to greet them. They wasn't in there in no butt out jeans and,
No little nonsense.
you know, no, right. No diamond encrusted thongs walking up there too.
Diamond encrusted thong.
Go ahead.
And they shirt tied.
And they shirt tied in the knot at the Navy. Go ahead. Go ahead, boy.
And wash your feet.
And do what?
And wash your feet.
Where did Lot learn this?
Get that toe jam.
Look, we just seeing he knows the first thing you do to travelers that's coming in. You know, first thing, rest your what? Feet. Let's get some more.
And ye shall rise up early and go on your way.
You should do what?
Rise up early and go on your way.
You should stay and put up pictures of your family.
Now,
You should have baby mama tomorrow
Right.
in my house.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
and they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread.
What did he bake?
Unleavened bread.
So y'all, we see that what's called communion, that the church like to call it, or the breaking of bread, started way before Messiah introduced it at the Passover, or Moses introduced it in Egypt. This is going on way before Egypt. The 12 tribes hadn't even been born yet. Let's read some more.
This was oral law.
Oral law.
Handed down by generation.
Yeah.
And they did eat.
And they did what?
Eat.
So we see that these angels are eating again. Well, at least them, because Abraham's talking to the Messiah. He could have caught up with him. Right. Go ahead, let's read some more.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom,
right,
compassed the house round, both old and young.
Y'all see this? Old and young. And if y'all see any of these LGB or whatever them alphabet names is, they always got old and young. I'm talking about a rear end so wrinkled up with a thong on, and he got a chain on a little boy. Old and young is out there. And guess where they holding the biggest lesbian LGBT? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Pride parade. Where is that?
In Jerusalem.
In Jerusalem.
Tel Aviv.
What?
Tel Aviv
The biggest one.
has the largest gay
one
pride
that
parade
Satan
in
is
the world.
In the land of Canaan. Go ahead.
In the world.
All the people from every quarter.
From what?
From every quarter.
So it's old men heard it's some fresh meat on the block. Where they at? They in Lot's house.
They in the 5th ward.
Fresh fish.
We got to get over to the 5th ward.
Boy,
They got the men's.
go ahead.
Verse 5.
What it say?
And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came in?
See, he put that S on. But see, no, he got that from Jacob. You know, Jacob
I did it last week.
put the S on thing like, Most High rest his soul, the elder Hosea ben Israel, the older, when we was finna roll out, he said, y'all grab them caskets.
Yeah, that's what Jacob said. Y'all get them caskets right now. I'm like, damn,
Right, go ahead.
okay. Where are the men which came in with thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
That we may do what?
We may
Now look.
Uh-oh.
So did they want to say, hey, where are you guys from? Just want to show you a little hospitality. Are you from over there? You're not from around here. You're
Make sure
glowing.
your feet clean.
Where'd you get these white robes from? Go ahead. Is that the kind of no?
No.
Or is it like Genesis 4? Adam knew Eve.
Sexual appetite.
What you say?
And she bare Cain. Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
And Lot went out at the door unto them.
See, he went out and pulled the door shut.
Right.
Go ahead.
And shut the door after him.
See, and that's what you're supposed to do when, see, he ain't let them in, did he? Right. Did he say, because they came wrong? How you gonna let somebody knock on your door and tell you, you got company in there? You know, ain't no morsel of meat finna be set out. Right. They want a morsel of meat. Let's get some more.
Then you'll see also, I'm gonna cut you off, that because Lot got to them first, he didn't allow them to get off what their intent was.
Yes, sir.
By being first to greet a newcomer into the city.
Yes, sir.
So they like, no, we need our dibs too. And we'll see that in Joshua 19.
That's right.
Verse 7. And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Do not so what?
Wickedly.
So we know that introducing yourself to somebody ain't wickedly. Right. So that was a different no that they had on their mind, because there's menses. Young and old, ain't no women's involved that was beating on the door. So now the Webster definition, we got to question it now, because this is all men's is at the door, young and old. Let's read some more.
Verse 8.
What it say?
Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
Uh-oh.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes.
Is this wrong for Lot to do that, being a just man?
It's better than what they trying to do.
I'm saying, why is it wrong, y'all? We need to think, why is it wrong for him to offer up his daughters that never been with a man to throw them out there to these wolves out there? Is the sacrifice of what's going to happen to them men, should he have put them out there?
No.
Huh?
He's saying at least do the lawful thing and be with a woman like you're supposed to instead of trying to take me.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. It's not hard.
Clear as day.
It's clear as day, but we still, women gonna be saying, so you telling me I'm in my daddy's house and some maniacs beat on the door, he gonna throw me out there? My daddy's supposed to be my protector. But you got to understand this is a life or death situation. Because you know why? The next verse gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
And it's about salvation versus damnation.
Right.
What it say?
Let's see. And do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
So right here, because of what was happening in Sodom, they made you like a judge of the city immediately, but you basically followed their corrupt ways.
Right.
So that was first of their practice. And they said, this man need to be a judge. Basically, he need to be thrown on the casting couch.
Yeah.
First. We ain't talking about them heifers in there.
Right.
We need to test them out.
We need to test them out. Them the rules of Sodom and Gomorrah. We don't want them women. And they say, if you don't do it, guess who on the chopping blocks?
You next.
You lot. It's either them or you.
So gonna do you worse.
So now if they get Lot, they're gonna get the daughters anyway. Because he's gonna be dead anyway. So you have to understand he was just trying to appease that wrath and get them away from there and hoping, you know, he knows it's gonna be some punishments on his daughter, but he knows these are supernatural beings that's in his household. He's trying to, at every event, save the lives of even those wicked men. Like Most High said in Genesis 6, it's not, it grieved me that I had to destroy mankind. Does that include the fallen angels? Does that include all of Cain's children?
They were his creation.
That grieved his heart. So in like manner, Lot was trying to not cause these men destroyed because he knew who he had in his house. But let's read what it says. We're going to cut it off. Go ahead.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
See, so they pressed sore upon him. Y'all know what that means? Got in his face, got in his chest. Nigga, your drawers will be off in 2 seconds. Try us.
If you don't move,
Try us. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Right?
But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door.
Right?
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
With what?
With blindness, both small and great.
Right?
So that they wearied themselves to find the door.
See, so they couldn't even see at this point. First you get smoted with blindness. Now you rapping on doorknobs trying to figure out. See, this is the depravity of these people that even though blinded, they still got to get that jacket off.
Still trying to get it.
Still trying to get it blind. Rapping on the door, feeling on the window.
I don't care if I can't see where the man's.
What them means is that? Go ahead, bro.
They started grabbing each other.
Boy.
They didn't want each other though.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 12.
What it say?
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High. And Yahweh hath sent us to destroy.
So who sent them to destroy?
The Most High.
So right here, Lot knows right here it's going to be, he said, anybody else in your house besides your son-in-law, your daughters, who and out. And then what he's talking about is his household. Right. They wasn't living with him. They wasn't in there because he didn't offer up his sons' wives. You know, and this is what it didn't matter. All he needed, and we're going to get into some Judges 19 to let you understand that they wasn't in the house, because when that situation happened in Judges 19, it was a man in there with his wife and the man house he was staying with, his concubine. They put both of them out for the men to go to work. But we'll see that, y'all, so y'all get some clear understanding. Go ahead, brother. I think we can hold that.
Yeah.
And y'all, and that's all we wanted to do, get that understanding. Now y'all quickly get into the book of Jasher. Like again, I'll let you hear what you need to do to fill in. I know you got a load over there. Just the book of Jasher, y'all, and what I want to do, get into 18, so y'all understand what happens when you first go into Sodom. Give me 18 and 11, we want to start at Jasher, and then we'll get right into 19, just a couple verses in 19, we'll move on. Y'all read all of this Jasher 18 and 19 when you get a chance. And because you heard some knuckleheads say don't read the book of Jasher, the Bible tells us we can read Jasher. Now who we going to listen to, flesh or spirit?
Let God be true and count every man a lie.
So we don't care about what no liars say, because they don't know how to study this. The problem is for them to explain why it's in the Bible. 2 times to say to study. It said 2 Samuel 1:18, Joshua 10:13. Study out of the book of Jasher.
Evidently, they don't believe in the book.
See, and that's what we're talking about. Who we gonna believe, flesh or spirit? Let's read some more. What it say?
I'm trying to get to 18.
18:11.
Age 44 and 45.
So y'all, we see the first thing in Sodom is poor hospitality, different from Abraham. Even though Lot was a righteous man in there, even being in that wicked land, he still knew righteous hospitality. And y'all was late at night, that's why he was pressing them. It was getting in the evening, that's why he was pressing them. Y'all got to get off the street. Y'all don't know what they do around here off the street. Y'all know what the streets is like in St. Louis at 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. What's going on in the alleyways? Huh? Everybody sitting in there like they be in at 8.
I do.
I'm about to say you don't.
Hey, my hood, I be in at 6.
Let's get it, y'all.
I'm in the crib and in the bed. Jasher chapter 18 verse 11.
Yes, sir.
In those days all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked.
What kind of wicked?
Exceedingly wicked.
Y'all, what does that mean, exceedingly? They didn't pass the point of no return. It's a reprobate mind at this point.
They've perfected it.
Well, say it again.
They've perfected
It's like
it.
R. Kelly making more movies and looking at how much suds that bird made when he
Suds?
pissed on that little girl.
Oh,
and he's saying it ain't enough. I need 2 OEs.
He counting bubbles.
So that's what I'm talking about. He's practicing his wickedness because he continued to make movies. He got off on one time, didn't he? But now they got 40 other movies. Right. Let's read some more.
And of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And they provoked the Lord with their abominations. And they strengthened in acting abominably.
Read that again.
And they
Strengthen.
That's what I said. Strengthened and acting abominably.
And acting ain't right.
You got that? Well, we got aging. So it's probably the same thing, but aging, you getting old doing this.
Right.
You was you started this in your youth, and now you 60 years old and you still doing it. You're aging in it. You ain't turned from that. You're going deeper into it as you get older. Go ahead.
So I'm saying that.
So it's the same thing.
Abominably
It's the same thing.
and scornfully before the Lord.
Right?
And their wickedness and crimes were in those days great before the Lord.
Right?
And they had in their land a very extensive valley, about half a day's walk. And in it there were fountains of water and a great deal of herbage surrounding the water.
So right now they've got it comfortable for you that where you think it's set up like Freaknik or the Mardi Gras. So they got it set up like that. That's what entertains the eyes, and you want to be. And they got it in a valley, or like they have it in stadiums and different things like that. Go ahead, bro.
With
Or
herbs.
like Woodstock.
With herbs.
And what did they say happened at Woodstock? It was free love. Ain't that what it was called? Go read some more, bro.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah went there 4 times in a year, with their wives and children, and all belonging to them. And they rejoiced there with timbrels and dances.
So freaking. So all, you know, these type of things. They say they went with their families to this certain location, like South Beach in Miami, or wherever the place go, that everybody's naked, just about.
What's the new place down in Texas? South by Southwest. There's another big music festival now.
Who said something? Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 14.
You said something? Okay, go ahead.
And in the time of rejoicing, they would all rise and lay hold of their neighbors' wives.
Of their neighbors what?
Of their neighbors' wives.
See, go ahead.
And some the virgin daughters of their neighbors. And they enjoyed them. And each man saw his wife or daughter in the hands of his neighbor and did not say a word.
See, so you watching him, it's called swinging. You watch a man walk away with yours, and you didn't say a word. Not only this, but they say they gave their virgin daughters away. So a lot at this point is trying to get them involved with this part of it, the women part of it. Here, I'll give you my daughter. I know y'all like
y'all get down like that sometimes.
Y'all do that. They like, no, we're not that group. We're not the swingers. We're the tingers. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And he did so from morning to night.
How long?
From morning to night. And they afterward returned home, each man to his house, and each woman to her tent. So they always did 4 times in the year.
Okay.
Also, when a stranger came into their cities and brought goods which they had purchased with the view to dispose of there, the people of these cities would assemble, men, women, and children, young and old, and go to the man and take his goods by force.
By what?
By force.
Jacking. See, y'all, so we have to understand this was taking place. Freaknik and jacking. You travel through there with your belongings, you're going to be empty. This is how they greeted you with hospitality. Jack moves.
Like in
Go ahead.
Like in third world countries.
Right.
Yeah.
They sit out and the harlots and the little children and everybody pickpocketing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, because they used to show us like in history of like you'd see an old movie about London, and there would be a problem that they had. The little children were all pickpockets in the streets.
Yeah.
And they hung out in little gangs without their parents. They'd go out and pickpocket everybody, and that's how they got over. So you see the children in this involved as well.
Go ahead.
So,
Keep your finger on that verse.
Force,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
giving a little to each man until there was an end to all the goods of the owner which he had brought into the land.
So we can hold that, but I want y'all read all of that, y'all, because it's very important that you read all. But for time's sake, we get into the meat of it. Jump right to 19 of Jasher, and we're going to see some more things. Now we're moving into the other crimes that was going on in the land of Sodom that was set up by an ancient king. It was just named after him. Was he one of those individuals? No, it was just named like Gomorrah. It's just the name of a city.
Every city is named after
Right.
the inhabitants, the people that inhabit it.
So where was the Messiah crucified at what is it called? Gethsemane. It's called the skull.
Place of skulls.
Place of skull. We get hit in the head, bust down to the white meat.
Abraham had his brother had a city named after himself.
Yeah.
His firstborn brother that died, he had a city that was named after him.
Yes, sir.
You want to start at 1?
19 and 1, yeah.
Okay. Jasher 19 verse 1. And the cities of Sodom had 4 judges to 4 cities.
Uh-huh.
And these were their names. Sirach in the city of Sodom, Sharkad in Gomorrah, Zabnak in Admah, and Menon in Zeboim.
So it's telling you who the judges are of these surrounding cities that practice this bad behavior. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And Eleazar, Abram's servant, applied to them different names. And he converted Sirach to Shakrad to Shakurua, Zabnak to Kesboim, and Menon to Matzolbin. And by desire of their 4 judges, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the city.
What they have erected in the streets?
Beds.
See, beds in the streets. I want y'all to think about this. Beds on street corner, they had them erected. I mean, they were bolted down on street corners.
Yeah, like mailboxes.
Go ahead, bro.
And if the man came to these places, they laid hold of him and brought him to one of their beds, and by force made him to lie in them.
Right.
And as he lay down, 3 men would stand at his head and 3 at his feet, and measure him by the length of the bed. And if the man was less than the bed, these 6 men would stretch him out at each end. And when he cried out to them, they would not answer him.
See, so right now they were measuring, and y'all have to understand these were, it was so wicked.
It's hard for you.
It's hard for you to imagine what they're doing, but it's just basically they holding you down.
Right.
And stretching you out, torturing you. And if your feet was long and you was too tall, that's going to be a problem for the way they need to get down. Go ahead and read the next verse.
And when he was longer than the bed, they would draw together the 2 sides of the bed at each end, until the man had reached the gate of death.
So they would fold them up.
Yeah.
And if he continued to cry out to them, they would answer him, saying, thus shall it be done to a man that cometh into our land.
So we see we got freak meat, we got swapping, we got all it is jacking, and we ain't even got to the men beating on the door yet. So all of these things go with it before you can just point and say one half of it.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of other things that people may say, well, as long as I ain't doing that part of beating on the door, I'm not considered that. No. You better make sure the hospitality right, or you are that.
Right.
Let's read some more. What
It
you got
extends
said?
beyond just our act of homosexuality.
So that's where the people get, where they put these small beds in front, on the sides of their houses, when you go to certain places in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have these, you think they're places to sit, but they resemble beds, because they don't have the back end, they have the curve, or what you like, curve over.
If the feeling hits you, right there.
You have to understand, this is the land, that's the land of Esau, Edom.
Doing it in the park. After dark.
You know,
When they're doing it,
oral
After dark.
tradition is passed down. Just like the oral tradition of righteousness, there's the oral tradition of unrighteousness passed down.
Verse 7.
what it say?
When men heard all these things that the people of the cities of Sodom did, they refrained from coming there. And when a poor man came to their land, they would give him silver and gold, and cause a proclamation in the whole city not to give him a morsel of bread to eat. And if the stranger should remain there some days and die from hunger, not having been able to obtain a morsel of bread, that at his death all the people of the city would come and take their silver and gold which they had given to him.
Y'all talk about Indian guilds.
Right.
Is that what happened when they got to this land? Did they do that to the Indians?
Yep.
So, y'all, we have to understand, look, you come to the land, it's like they're giving you food stamps. But no store adhere to you with the food stamp. You can't spend the money. So they take you through the torture, and then everybody get their money back from you. So that lured you in. That's why we have to be careful that when they say it's new places, like what happened in Katrina, and then they open up these same places all over other cities, and they was introducing and giving them packages. Well, people were starting to spend that Katrina money in the clubs. They were spending it all over. They wasn't using it for what it was, but it was designed that way. And they took all of that money and ended up taking it back from them.
Exactly.
So y'all, the practice ain't hard. We just never viewed it from that perspective. It's not their imagination. They've already seen it being done like that. And for us to prophesy about it or to see it becoming like Sodom and Gomorrah, we have to physically see it to know what time period we in. Go ahead.
It's what they say about giving us reparations.
Yeah.
Give us reparations, because we'll turn around and give right back to them.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll pacify that part and get that out of the way.
You get a Cadillac.
Reparations,
You get a Cadillac.
We'll get it back.
We've been pacified by the so-called American dream or the piece of the American pie. And that has never been from us.
That's right. Everybody that win on the game shows win the prize, but don't have the money for the taxes. So they take the gifts back. You think you actually winning that, but you ain't winning. Most people have to end up selling the car for a cheaper price to get rid of it, because it's not worth what it was when it came off the showroom floor. So y'all, people are not looking at that sleight of hand that where they're getting away with paying taxes. These are write-offs and different things that they are doing to you, and you hold the burden of your tax paying. Read some more.
Verse 9.
What it say?
And those that could recognize the silver or gold which they had given him took it back.
See, ain't that an Indian giver? That's my quarter. I got my initial scratched in there. You didn't see it on the back. That one's mine.
But Big Gang, they say they would give them loans, but wouldn't sell them any food or provisions.
Yeah. Right.
So you just walking around with money on you with nothing to do with it.
See, y'all know what this is? This is almost like storing up for the mark of the beast. What you gonna spend the money on? When the mark hit, it don't matter how much money you got. They are not going to let you buy. There'll be no hurry up and buy.
Hurry up and go.
You can hold up, bro.
Okay.
Y'all, all we want to do, y'all read the rest of that Jasher 19. We wanted to get heavy into that so you can understand what exactly was taking place way before the men got to Sodom. Now I want to get to, where you at, verse 51. Hold on.
That's 99.
I want to get right to where it ain't. Okay. Start at 45, 1945. Let's pick up there. Yeah. Y'all read all that on your own time. See, and notice these chapters almost line up exactly the same as the Bible. Genesis 19, Jasher 19. That'll help you remember for your second witness. And then guess what? We're going to get into Judges 19. And we're going to get into Wisdom of Solomon 19.
All linked up.
What you got, bro?
And they basically the same thing that they doing to us today. And as far as like you got people like Oprah Winfrey got billions of dollars, but she can't come in the black community and build up nothing.
Right.
You got money, but you can't really use it to help your people.
Right, they may be under right.
If
she can or does she not want? Who we blaming that on?
You don't want to.
Is that her fault or is somebody guiding her telling her she can't do it? Look, it's like Snoop Dogg almost lost all his wealth coming up against her to say, when y'all gonna speak out about Harvey Weinstein and leave Russell Simmons alone and leave R. Kelly alone? Why y'all keep attacking them and you won't attack the white pedophiles? That's right. They're like, look, we in league with them. Them right there, we don't care nothing about.
Right.
We don't care nothing about what R. Kelly's doing.
Right. They didn't get in league with us.
Right. So if there's something there that won't allow this, but then again, y'all, we can't tell nobody what to do with their money. We can't tell nobody to give alms to nobody. That's their money. Because unless you want some of that money, they may say, well, this is what I had to do. If for you to get a piece of it, you want to do some of this? What you gonna say then?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Do you want that wicked money?
Do you want that blood money? Let's get some more.
Can we take this back to 42?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll read right through it. And the people of those cities assembled and brought out the young woman and anointed her with honey from head to foot. As the judge, this was the woman who was feeding a man and got caught. This was one of Lot's daughters right here.
Oh, she got caught feeding a man that they were starving to death.
Right.
Go ahead.
And they anointed her with honey from head to foot, as the judge had decreed. And they placed her before a swarm of bees were then in their hives. And the bees flew up on her and stung her, and her whole body was swelled.
Do y'all see what they doing here? Because she fed the hungry.
Right.
They soaked her whole body, covered up like you putting Jergens lotion on her, covered her all up, and then hit that beehive with a stick, and they attacked. Y'all talking about 1,000 BC. This is for you feed the homeless.
This was the act that
Now,
made the
now
Most
you
High
see
say,
America
"Done."
following suit.
This
Yeah.
was the
Now,
act
in
that
some
made
cities,
them do.
some cities you get
Right.
you get a citation for feeding the homeless
Yes, right.
and the needy.
Yeah.
St. Louis is one of them cities.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Better get your permit.
Yeah. What you got, brother?
So once they entered the city, they weren't allowed to leave?
No, they kept them until they were at the
Until they were destitute or joined the city.
or they joined in or what they became confederate in what they were doing.
Get down
Right.
and lay down.
That was the initiation.
Get down and lay
If you
down.
want, yeah, get
That's
down.
why Abraham had to go get Lot. He had to get 318 men, trained soldiers.
Yeah, they had to go to war.
You're going up against top wickedness.
Because it wasn't just one city, it was 5 cities. Right.
5 cities he going up against, and he took with righteousness, but he didn't take none of the money. He gave it to all the soldiers that was fighting and to their families. Y'all risk y'all lives for this. I'm cool. I don't need it. I got a nephew back. Let's read some more.
Verse 43. And the young woman cried out on account of the bees, but no one took notice of her or pitied her, and her cries ascended to heaven. And the Lord was provoked at all this, and at all the works of the cities of Sodom, for they had abundance of food, and had tranquility amongst them, and still would not sustain the poor and the needy. And in those days their evil doings and sins became great before the Lord.
So we see that this is a major problem, that they were starving people to death and they had abundance of food. McDonald's throw away enough food to fill all a Canfield Green.
They sure.
They throw it away. You throw food away. You got hungry people out there. Well, they say, well, we can't give them old food because it make them sick and they sue us.
Every hour.
So, but we still know that they could have a be here at throwaway time.
Right.
Where it's enough, you got to eat it before 6 o'clock, or it ain't gonna be no good. But they like, no, throw it away. And then, but yet they exalt dumpster diving.
Right. Right. TV shows.
It becomes something that where you jump in a trash can and get food out, and you chant, "Yay! I got a half a Big Mac and a half a fish with cheese, no pickles on it though."
The pickles fell off.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 45, where he wanted to start.
And y'all, where they bust the Most High, where they killed him, it was called Golgotha. That's the place of the skull.
Skull.
You know, where they bust your head on.
It was the place of execution.
Yeah. Let's get it, y'all.
45.
What it say?
And the Lord sent for 2 of the angels that had come to Abraham's house to destroy Sodom and its cities. And the angels rose up from the door of Abraham's tent after they had eaten and drunk.
After they had done what?
Eaten and drunk. And they reached Sodom in the evening. And Lot was then sitting in the gate of Sodom. And when he saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. And he pressed them greatly and brought them into his house.
Right.
And he gave them victuals which they ate.
See, so in Genesis, we're not seeing them. Basically, he brought them in, but this Jasher gets into detail so you get to understand Genesis a little better. Go ahead, bro.
And they abided all night in his house. And the angel said to Lot, "Arise, go forth from this place, thou and all belonging to thee, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of this city. For the Lord will destroy this place." And the angels laid hold upon the hand of Lot, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hands of his children, and all belonging to them, and they brought them forth and set them without the cities. And they said to Lot, "Escape for thy life." And he fled, and all belonging to him.
So right here, y'all, we can hold it. Y'all read the rest of that for time's sake, y'all. Like we're saying, y'all make sure y'all read all of the rest of that for the pure understanding of it, because it's gonna name Lot's wife, what her actual name is, and why she looked back. She had 2 other daughters there that was married.
We went through all this.
And he talking about the skeezer. All that was within that. So we understand all of the things, but this gives detail because it even names Lot's wife, whose name was Ado. You know, so let's get right to it. Elijah, I want to hit just a couple more of these before we get right into it. Wisdom of Solomon 19 and 14, because it's going to separate the two again. See, y'all have to understand the 5 cities. If you wasn't involved with the anal rape of men, you may have been involved in the starving people. See, this is why the Messiah say, and the disciples asked, when did we see you hungry and naked and didn't give you nothing to eat? He said, when you did it to my brethren, you did it unto me. To the least of them. So he said, to the lowliest part of them. Does that mean everybody that's standing on the street corner, you got to give them some money? No. The script say, do not turn your eye away from a poor man. That means you have to look at them and say, no. You have to at least do this and look them in the eye. You can't be like you don't see him. You can hold that sign right to the window. I ain't gonna see it. We'll work. You can put it in front of the windshield. If you don't look at them, that's a problem on your record. You have to at least look them in the eye and tell them no. For one, they may have been there 2 years now. Then mastered that corner. Get your money and jump in a BMW. Y'all know this is what's happening. I seen 2 of them fighting on 270 in West Florida about who corner it was. It was one white guy with a cut off arm, and it's a sister who be up there. She was letting them know it's Thursday. What the hell? You better get away from him. He's trying to defend himself with one arm. He moved on down to Bell Bottom, and that exit's right there. Yeah, go ahead. Where we at?
But also, I want to make a quick point. If you notice that Ammon and Moab was not to enter into the congregation until the 10th generation.
We're going to get that.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to get that. Yes, sir. We're going to get it. So, y'all, and this is, we're going to get back on the hospitality. That's what Elijah is mentioning right now. It's on there, Elijah. We're going to get it.
We in Solomon chapter 19, verse 13.
Yeah.
13.
13, you can hit that. Wisdom of Solomon, y'all, that's in the Apocrypha.
Chapter 19.
Yeah. 13 through 17.
Yeah, you go 13 through 17, y'all. And there's something very important in here that get passed over because our psyche is trained to only see part of a scene. See, and if that's not you, your mental train itself to only see the part that belongs to somebody else. But in the deep recesses of your mind, I hope they don't bring that scripture up. And look, if you find yourself reading the scriptures on your own and you get to something that you like to do and they say you ain't supposed to be doing it, do you skip over that verse or do you lock in and say, I got to change my ways? Let's read some more.
Is it on me or is it
That's on me. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19 and what? 13. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19 verse 13.
Right. Y'all, and start at 11. So what this is, this whole chapter, y'all, is talking about bad behavior and the Most High setting you out. And he's going down the list of what we did in the wilderness. He said he gave them quail and they still acted crazy. Right. Just don't know how to act. You know, I gave you quail, so he's going through that list. But pick it up, and then he's going to get into the crimes of Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19 verse 11. But afterwards they saw a new generation of fowls, when, being led with their appetite, they asked delicate meats. For quail came up unto them from the sea for their content.
For their contentment. So to satisfy them. So he said, not on this, but I brought you quail, 2 pieces and a biscuit. I gave you manna bread. And in the desert, where else you gonna get that? How that's just gonna show up like that with no money?
KFC pulling up.
KFC is right there. This DoorDash. This, y'all know some of them delivery companies. Right here, Grubhub. Where you think they're getting it from? Right there. Brought it to them right there, and they didn't. Just shook their head like, you know, what else you got, Lord?
Right. What?
Go ahead, bro.
No. Yes.
Verse 13. And punishments came upon the sinners, not without former signs by the force of thunders.
See, not without former signs by the force of thunder, because the Most High always warns you when I'm finna get you. See, this is how merciful he is. He's always, that's why we got trumpets. 7 of them. You clowning, you will clown till the 7th trump get like this. Then you'll try to stop it.
Right. That's why the Most High says he come as a thief in the night. Because
Yeah.
in the days of Noah, he told them how long he gave them to repent and come.
120 years.
120 years, and no one out of 120 years.
119 years, 11 months,
And still they do it.
364 days. That's when they tried to get it together.
Oh, they tried to get it together when the rain
When the
started.
Yeah. What you talking about? Well, you talking about snatching the microwave door open with 2 seconds left.
That's why he had all them animals around the ark to keep them from trying to turn the door down.
Let's get it.
For they suffered justly according to their own wickedness.
To their own what?
Wickedness. Insomuch as they used a more hard and hateful behavior towards strangers.
A more hard and hateful behavior towards strangers. How you show hospitality. A hard and hatred. When they see you coming, they hate you. Look at this nigga got gave or something.
He don't know
Is
nothing about
that his
hatred.
wife got a purse? You ain't got no purse, baby. You want that purse? No, I like that purse.
It'll look good on you.
Now they snatch her purse and she got money and they take the money and put 2 broke cigarettes and some change and now they working.
But also, this is Israelites that don't accept the strangers that come into the fold.
Say it again,
and swear
Elijah.
unto the Most High and His only begotten Son to the law, statutes, and judgments.
Yes, sir.
This is Israelites too.
Yeah.
To the Jew first. Then to the Gentile.
Yes, sir. Same way treating them harshly.
The Most High says if they convert to our law, statutes, and judgment and love the Most High and His only begotten Son like us, then they're counted as a brother and a sister.
That's right.
Y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
Y'all heard what he said? That's hospitality. Strangers been with us, come out of with Egypt. When you get into some Ezekiel 47, what you gonna do about that? All 12 tribes is there, and then you got strangers there, and this is the promise for us. So if they still strangers and you're saying they don't know who they is as Israel, that's a problem. Let's get it.
For the Sodomites.
For the who?
For the Sodomites did not receive those whom they knew not when they came, but those brought friends into bondage that had well deserved of them. And not only so, but peradventure some respect shall be had of those, because they use strangers, not friends.
So he's calling the Sodomites, he said, he's listening to the first part, they treated people wrong. He ain't even got to the knocking on the door yet. But what are they called?
Sodomites.
Poor hospitality.
And no sexual activity has been done yet.
You're a sodomite. It's not that you look at the behavior of this one part. You look at the behavior of that land of Sodom. Let's read some more.
Verse 16. But these very grievously afflicted them, whom they had received with feastings, and were already made partakers of the same law with them.
See, and that's when they come in and they teach you the laws of the land and they feasting with them. Can y'all imagine this? They setting them up for the kill. You feed them and everything, and then you waiting to pounce on them. Wait till he belch. You don't know right then. That's why, like, we're gonna make sure we hit that Sirach about what not to do when somebody invites you to dinner. Don't be just looking, the eyes rolling, they waiting on you. It's just like, don't be a blunt monkey. Because everybody got one fired up. Don't you have your fingers like this everywhere.
And you ain't never brought nothing.
And brought nothing. Look, because they gonna set you up. Here you come.
Yep, and they gonna talk
Give him that one.
Give him that one over there. Give him the phone. He closed his eyes.
Got you smart.
They did this cat like that in college, though. It was about food. He was always going out getting drunk and then coming home and then knocking on everybody's doors on the floor because he hungry. So these Gentiles set him up and baked some brownies and put X-Lax in.
Hey, they did that to us in college too, because some guys was always eating his food.
Right.
That's all.
I wanted to beat dude up.
Dude, they say, hey, we got a whole pan you can have. So
Now look, you fool, late night, you eating like a savage. You done consumed a whole pack of X-Lax, and you know one square. I had you throwing away drawers. Now you done ate a whole pack.
Don't know.
Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 17.
What it say?
Therefore, even with blindness, were the sickened.
No, read that again.
I'm sorry. Therefore, even with blindness, were these stricken.
See, even where blindness were these stricken. So when he hit the blindness on them, this group got it too. And they wasn't into doing what those wanted to do with Lot at Lot's house. This was this group that got struck with blindness too for that bad behavior, starving people. Let's read some more.
As those were at the doors of the righteous man.
See, as those that were at the door of the righteous man. So it wasn't just the men beating on Lot's door got blinded. That's how we've been trained to think. That's how we've been reading ourselves till we understand the law has 4 parts. Free and bond, male and female. Until you understand it from that perspective, because we got women agreeing to wife swapping. That had nothing to do with beating on Lot's door. These were still men with women, but it wasn't their wives. It was somebody else's wife. So what's that called?
Adultery.
What? Say it loud.
Adultery.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with the sin and Lot's door. But because swinging has become a thing in America. How you gonna watch another man go behind that door and don't know what he's doing to your woman? For 2 weeks, y'all. And then everybody get in the car like they don't want to know what's happening. Right. And you see that cyst on her lips and you just keep looking. Give me some of your soda, baby. Oh, spill. You can have it. You can have it, right. Finish that up, bro. Finish that up, because we got to get to Judges 19.
Being compassed about with horrible great darkness. Everyone sought the passage of his own door.
Right.
What verse you in, man?
18.
Thank you.
Hold on, I gotta move this page. All right, for 18. For the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony, like as in psaltery, notes change the name of the truth
of the tune,
and yet are always sound, which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done.
So, you know, just notes and look. Record company comes before they throw you on the casting couch, is offer you the big contract, throw you on the couch and then ask you, we need you to sing sin. Change the notes. We need you to sing. We don't want to talk about going up yonder to be with the Lord. We want you to talk about how low can I drop it? And how fast can you get your shorts off? Write that in the lyric.
Also, you'll see that.
How fast can I get my shorts off? Faster than lightning, they will. Go ahead, Judge 19, what you got, Elijah?
You look up the birth of reggae music in America, and they say that when reggae music came over to the Americas, they changed the tune and the bass line and everything so that it didn't sound so revolutionary. So it was acceptable to the mass and to the other nations, because they say if you listen to reggae music in its raw form when it's created over in Jamaica, it's very hardcore, it's edgy. And they said it was scaring the hell out of white America. So they said what they had to do is every time they came over across the seas, they would change the tempo and things of that nature, so it didn't sound as rebellious.
Yeah. So y'all ain't nothing new under the sun. Y'all ain't been doing this. It's just the ways of Sodom. America ain't just that. It's just the people are practicing the same thing in the land the same way. And it's 5 cities that reign supreme. San Francisco, Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, and Vegas. Now what are you going to do about people that live there? Nothing. What you gonna do about it? There ain't no location salvation. Ain't no place on earth where it's sin free. Let's read some more. Because when you find out where all the pedophile John Wayne Gacy wasn't down on Martin Luther King and Kobe Bryant, was he? He was out in the suburbs out there with 19 boys, 30 boys buried up under his floor. He lured them in as a clown and fed them. And then Mickey fed them. He was practicing that.
He went to the White House.
But it was a different group of men that came to his door. It was the police beating on it. Where them boys at? And you know it's bad when they have to tear a house down. Let's read some more. Where we at?
He said Judges 19.
No, we want to go Judges 19, y'all. And we're going to roll right through this, y'all. I ain't going to comment on it. But as me, because y'all, what this is going to do is going to put us right back into this practice being picked up again with a tribe of Israel. I'm talking about we had a tribe that practiced this.
It was so wicked that the Most High almost wiped that whole tribe out. But just like in Leviticus 26 and 44, he said he will always reserve to him a cluster. Even in our captivity, he will always keep a cluster reserved to him.
Yeah, we gonna hit it. Boy, you gonna heard it, huh?
I hear you.
What's tribe? Dan or
Oh, we gonna see.
We gonna find out.
Right here.
One of them two.
I don't want to tell you the movie before you see it.
Y'all, we gonna skip down to the meat of it, but we just gonna, once we get to the heart of it, so you understand the subject matter, then we'll move to different spots. But y'all know how I go. Read all of it on your own time, y'all. We just cutting for time. Go ahead. 19:1, Judges.
Judges chapter 19, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
And it came to pass in those days,
Right.
when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning.
Slow up.
Slow up.
Yeah.
You there? Slow up.
Judges 19:1.
Everybody there?
Shit, you ready?
Judges.
Judges chapter 19, verse 1.
Right.
And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah, and his concubine played the whore against him.
What she do?
Played the whore against him.
Right.
And went away from him unto her father's house in Bethlehem, Judah, and was there for 4 whole months.
So he ended up getting him basically a second wife, so to speak, and she played the whore on him. So wasn't no kings around, so he just saw and liked her. So y'all, this marriage ceremony it just started in the bedroom. Well, he saw it just like Samson saw his in Judges 14. Man, she fine. She fine. He had already undressed in her mind. Ain't even met her parents yet. Let's read some more.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, brother.
Because I'm trying to figure out how he took a concubine and she had to be faithful to him.
Well, a concubine is a secondary wife. It says she played the whore.
Right.
She wasn't a whore. She played
But
the
she
whore.
was not a wife.
But what we're talking about is, if you marry a harlot, that title changes to wife. It don't matter what her past was. If the title changes, she got papers on it. So at this point, whether her behavior was whore as he married her, so she become a wife, so she can't be called a harlot anymore. She can only play it. Because she married, because whoever she's planning with can't take her to the altar because she's married to somebody else. So she's just giving it away on the side.
She's an adulteress.
Thank you, brother. So you understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand he had to be married already for it to be a concubine. The concubine is a secondary wife, not the first wife. So you don't put it out there without knowing that the boss was there. There was a mistress somewhere. But she probably didn't know about this because he hadn't even met her parents yet. But we'll get to it. Let's get to it.
So even though she was a concubine and she wasn't his legal wife.
Legal, she was.
She was a legal wife.
Yeah, say he married her.
She just wasn't a mistress.
She wasn't the first wife. She was the second wife. The mistress is the first wife. That's why it says a bishop but be what? One wife. So all he can have is a mistress. See, mistress in this book says that's the second one. The The Bible says the mistress is your first wife, the head of the household. She's the woman with the power in the household. That's the mistress. We've been taught to mean that it's your side woman.
Right.
So that's why we into this today, to let the Bible explain, because we got to be careful to trust man.
Right. Just because man has dictionaries and definitions, if they don't line up with the Most High, you can't use it.
You can't use it.
Right.
So like I said, just go back to Genesis 19 and Genesis 19 and go through 4 through 9. And you'll see what we're talking about on that. That's how we started off to explain the difference in the source and the resource. So just hit that Genesis 19, 4 through 9.
Now, can this concubine marry
Who?
another person?
No, she's his wife.
So how many can he have until they're no longer?
Well, look, this is the deal. Any man that build a house and ain't counted the cost. See, that's all it say. If he ain't counted the cost, it's gonna beat him up. See, because the rules are, the problem is, you gotta have a house for every one of them. Everything that this one got, this one has to have. So they were never piled up into one. Like when you get into Genesis about Jacob coming back and Laban was looking for stuff, he went to each one of Jacob's wives' tents. Each one, it said their tents, and then he went to this one tent. And Reuben snuck into Bilhah's house and had her. She wasn't in there with Leah and Rachel, and the other one, she had her own space. Or they were like, oh, look at Reuben. But see, an angel of the Lord told Jacob, and then Bilhah revealed it to him. The rest of his wives didn't tell him, because they would have told him. That bastard son of yours, he's an MF.
Let me read this definition of concubine. I got the definition. I got the definition of concubine.
Go ahead. What it say?
It's H802.
What it say?
Isha, woman, wife, female, woman, opposed, opposite of man. The first form is female. No, that ain't what I want.
Yeah, ain't what you want.
The second form is an irregular plural, a woman used in the same wide sense as adulterer, every female.
No,
the rest of that don't mean nothing. The first, it said wife.
Yeah.
It said woman or wife.
Look, when Abraham took Hagar, it said she became his wife. It's plain and simple. There's no more. She's not Hagar no more. She's his wife, but it's still called concubine because it's the second wife. See, it said a man should marry a woman. One woman for one man. If this concubine come in, then she's the secondary wife. She gets the title of concubine. No first wives are called concubine. That's why he said in Malachi 2:15, you have dealt treacherously with the wife of your youth. It's talking about the first wife. So you have to understand a concubine, we just made concubine sound like my little gal on the side. But concubines, everybody knew everybody. It wasn't no like, where you going? Just gonna bend some corners? Bend some corners where? No need for you to worry. I don't have to tell you nothing. That ain't in the scriptures. You must tell it. Because if you don't, chaos coming. Because the baby coming.
So I'm not trying to point fingers or anything like that. I want to make sure that I'm not trying to point fingers or anything like that. But where does it come from where these wives these four wives in today's time? And only one you can marry in this land. Right. So the other three would be called wives.
The other three would be called their friends. Because you can't get two marriage certificates here. You could in that land. If they were really about their business, they'd move to Utah. Utah finna make it legal. Yep. See, so this is what we're talking about. If you're really about it, pack your bags and head to Utah where you won't have to listen to us. Right. You won't have to listen to nobody else raking you over the coals. You can get but look, it has to be what's called power of protection. These men don't have no insurance policies on these secondary women. They don't have nothing. If they die, guess who they call it? Is this Miss Johnson? Oh yeah, this is Gabahoo. Well, Gabahoo. Well, my real name is George Jefferson. But, me and your daughter can stand together. Me and your daughter stay together, and something happened. So what happened to my baby? Well, you know, the police ain't gonna let me say no more. Hold on, I'm gonna give them the phone. Because you have no power of protection. You ain't even got an insurance policy.
Yeah.
This what happens when the funeral starts. I don't want that bastard here. So they said, guards at the door, who are you? I'm her husband. Says who? Not a mama. It happened to Bobby Brown.
And he used to be
after
her
the
wife.
divorce.
And he got put out.
Got put out. See, because the power go to next of kin. You on your deathbed, you think he gonna make some decisions with no paperwork? Look, here, this what me and her signed, and you see right here it say, we's married. See, and they'll look at that, they'll be like, right there, security. And you out of there. I don't want him back in here no more. Yo, that's why he tell us obey the laws of the land.
That's right.
All we talking about, that's legal, but what you have to do, the rules that you must apply, that's what they don't get into people arguing. Everywhere you see polygamy at, it's arguing if it's legal. It's legal. The problem is the rules of the legality. Everybody got to have their own house, their own toilet. If you buy this one a car, that one needs a car. And that was to even a slave woman. So what do you think about the wife of your youth? Let's read some more. Y'all, we got to get caught up. Let's get it.
Verse 3.
What it say?
And her husband arose.
And who?
Her husband
you hear what it's
arose.
calling him? Her husband. Let's read some more.
And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses. And she
didn't want no extra concubine. Go ahead. Go ahead,
and she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him.
He rejoiced to do what?
To meet him.
Why would this be a rejoicing to meet him? Because he ain't never met him before. This is the first time you seen your son-in-law. My daughter back home, she say she got married, but she's back in my house, so he's going back to get his wife after she played the harlot. Like Theo asked, he said, so you telling me that a man can take his wife back if she cheat on him, but he can't take her back if she marries somebody else? Them the rules. And you have to understand how it decides the two. But see, it said this ain't for every man. Because you can't take her back and keep reminding her of, you know, yeah, these potatoes look like they're a little hard. I bet Earl didn't have no hard potatoes. and that's what you're going to do. Or the same thing with the woman. Same thing. You know, baby, you gonna cook today? Shit, you not that helping to cook. See, you call me hungry from over there. See, if you take them back under those pretenses, it's going to be trouble throughout. But until they marry somebody else, the paperwork, the power of protection belongs to that man. So even if that man died, it said you can't take her back because somebody else done had papers on her after you. She could be somebody else's wife, but she can't never be yours again. You can never remarry the same woman after divorce. You can remarry, but you can't remarry the same woman you divorced. Especially if she's been somebody else's wife. Let me make that clear. If she's been married to somebody else, the land will be greatly defiled. Does it make any sense? Now look, I know a lot of people say that's crazy. How can he take her back when she played a whore? Well, we don't know. Sometimes men do things that way. Sometimes men set women up. Send them to the club with her friends and then have his partners there, man, see if you can talk to her. See if she'll bite. And the bottom line is you done sent Leon in there to do this work. From the 5 Heartbeats, smiling with that. Y'all know that smile. And this thing got outside of your plan. Now he calling you and telling you, man, it went way south. What you mean it went way south? We south. Man, I'm in Mississippi with your woman.
He's married now.
Oh, dog, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Well, you ain't supposed to set her up. If a man can't trust her, if you can't trust her to let her go out, don't let her go out. How you gonna let her go out there and send some heat behind her to see if she gonna cheat on you? See, and that's what was happening a lot. So that's why you can't do those things and bring them back, because you ain't fixed what caused the divorce in the first marriage. Between you two, it's still there. And if she divorced from that man, you like, wait a minute. She's got 2 on her jacket and she's coming back to me. Do I take her back? The rules say you can't with a married woman, but you can if she's still under your roof. She's still your power. If she go play the harlot with another man and she die in his house, can that man take care of the business for her? Can he call and have her cremated? Can he do anything? Or who they gonna call? They're going to call next of kin. They're going to look up the record and say, yeah, she here with Earl, but she married to Robert. Get Robert on the phone. Yeah, we found your wife in here.
Yeah, they're going to, because
with Earl
legally separated, whoever she has papers in the court system with, that's who has the power. Because if she passes away, they ain't going to look to the boyfriend, they call him the husband. That's still on the record. Right. And see what he wants to do.
That's right. You see, that's why that's why the Most High gonna remarry us. It's because ain't nobody married us. We just playing the whore.
And we played the whore definitely.
We just playing the whore, but it ain't saying we did things like that. Now we committed adultery with stocks and stones, but when we're talking about the physical part of a remarriage to another nation, that where we belong to them in the sense of America. Americans say we don't belong to them because we're not in the Constitution. It wasn't written that way. When it say you free, how that's writing about us and we slaves? You understand what I'm saying? We slaves. You consider 2/5 of a man, or 3/5. What is it? 3/5. So already in their marriage certificate, you're not a part of their marriage. Your property, you're just a slave. You're just whore material. Let's read some more.
But at 9/11, we were all Americans.
That's right.
That's when they don't have trouble. They need you. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And his father-in-law.
And his who?
His father-in-law.
Right. So we see that's a legal marriage, right? Go ahead.
The damsel's father retained him, and he abode with him there 3 days.
3 months.
3 days.
Okay.
So they did eat and drink and lodge there.
So now verse 4, they have the marriage ceremony that was supposed to take place first. He's meeting his son-in-law for the first time, and they eating. This was supposed to be first. So it's still legal in a sense. They just, everything is lawful, but it may not be expedient. So he made this expedient. He like, well, maybe how I did it. Because you have to understand, why would he go get her? This the mindset, why would he go get her and know what she was doing? Either he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, and he wanted to make it right.
And then he waited 4 months.
And then right. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And it came to pass on the 4th day, when they arose early in the morning, that he rose up to depart. And the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law.
Into his who?
His son-in-law. Comfort thine heart with a morsel of bread, and afterwards go your way.
Right.
And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. For the damsel's father had said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry.
See, let that heart be merry. So I done met my son-in-law. You good to go now. It's just later. But he corrected his issue with this woman. Even though she played the harlot, it still was corrected, because he probably told his daddy, yeah, I saw her, man. I circled the club one more time and just picked her up.
She was outside the club?
Go ahead.
Verse 7. And when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again.
Right.
And he rose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart. And the damsel's father said, Comfort thine heart, I pray thee, And they tarried until the afternoon, and they did eat, both of them.
See, the father don't want to see it go. He don't want to see his daughter leave, and he liked his son-in-law. Come on, man, can't y'all just stay one night? But this was the hospitality. They begged you to stay. You don't find a way to stay. You don't start making up things, man, he ain't answering the phone, my ride ain't coming. Damn, I look like I'm gonna have to stay again tonight. Go! And then she go in the room and slam the door. You like, dang! He say he may be here by Thursday. It's Sunday.
Right.
So that means I gotta put up with you for this many more days, y'all. So you have to understand, the owners of the house beg you to stay one more day. They enjoy your company.
Right.
You don't ever want to be in a position they glad to see you and glad to see you leave.
Right. We're happy to see you leave.
Right, go ahead, bro.
Verse 9.
What it say?
And when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you up early on your way, that thou mayest go home. But the man would not tarry that night.
So where he said the man may go where?
To his go home.
See, he got his own crib. See, hospitality, you don't house nobody. This is just a stop over and you keep going. It's like the rest stop on the side of the highway. Welcome to Missouri. Come in, we're going to give you maps. Stay away from here. Don't go down around Coke Bridge. Go that way. At the rest stop. Read some more. Right, right. Go ahead.
But the man would not tarry that night. But he rose up and departed, and came over against Gibeah, which is Jerusalem. And there were with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him.
So he retrieved his wife, so to speak, from her father. He just went up. She went with him. She just went and got her. Same way David went and got his first wife back from that man that Saul gave his wife away. And the man was followed by her. David said, you better back up.
We read this right there.
You got papers on her. I got papers on her. Back up. Let's read some more. Yeah, that's the one he paid 4 skins for. Let's read some more.
Verse 11.
Go ahead.
And when they were by Gibeah, the day was far spent, and the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites, and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither unto the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah.
See, now the mindset is, well, we ain't gonna stop where an Israelite ain't at. So now you're trusting the flesh more than the spirit. Or we misunderstand in Deuteronomy 7:6. Is this in here that where we're saying we don't want to, see, does the law say you can't be among strangers, or does it say, don't marry? So, see, there's some language in here, y'all. We want y'all to see what's happening here. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 13. And he said unto his servant, Come, and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night, in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way. And the sun went down upon them when they were in Gibeah, which belongeth to Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when they went in, he set him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodge. And behold,
hospitality in the land of Benjamin.
Right.
And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at evening, which was also of Mount Ephraim.
Right.
And he sojourned in Gibeah, but the men of the place were Benjamites.
What were they?
Benjamites.
What was a Benjamite? Huh? Say it loud. Y'all scared? What's a Benjamite? Okay, let's read some more.
And when they had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the streets of the city.
So a wayfaring man is just a man just bouncing around, you know. He may have paper, but he's looking for a hotel, ain't none open. Wayfaring man, he kind of wandering around. Go ahead.
And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I, and I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord, and there is no man that receiveth me to house. Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything.
So he's saying, look, I can't get a room, and it ain't like I need nothing to eat. We got this. I'm set for them. I got my servants. We got food and water. We just ain't got no place to stay. Read some more.
Verse 20. And the old man said, Peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the street.
Y'all see that? He said, but I understand what you're saying, but you can't stay out in these streets, partner. These streets ain't kind to nobody. Let's read some more.
So he brought him into his house.
Right.
And gave him provender into the asses. And they washed their feet. And they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial.
Y'all know who Belial is? It's the devil. Certain sons of the devil.
Let's read the tribe of Benjamin.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
He's calling them the sons of Belial.
Uh-oh.
Sons of Belial.
Go ahead. Let's see what they did.
Certain sons of Belial beset the house round about, and beat at the door.
Sound familiar? Go ahead.
And spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
Uh-oh, sound familiar. Does it sound familiar? Let's keep reading.
And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them, and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house. Do not this folly.
Do not this folly, seeing that this man come out. Look, I done offered him righteous hospitality. Now y'all finna do what was taking place in Sodom. Now y'all finna do this, so it's gonna look like I set this man up. I got him to stay here and knew y'all was coming.
Got him out the streets.
Right.
So y'all wouldn't get it.
Right. But yeah, y'all trying to make this look like a setup move. Y'all, it's almost like men have to be careful because these women are pulling these moves now that they see you flashing a little paper, bring you to their home. She tell you, how about we get freaky and you go for it? And when you look up freaky in the dictionary, say of the abnormal. So you be better off saying, let's get abnormal. You probably get this look. But when they say let's get freaky, why did the eyebrows raise instead of if you said let's get abnormal? Right. So what happens is these young women are bringing men in, and once they get through and fall out, guess who show up? The jackass. Well, yeah, he in there. And you better hope while you're handcuffed, they don't pull the Sodom and Gomorrah revenge in the street on you. Because you're going to be relieved of your money and your man. Yes, sir. Right. They will make that exit an interest. Let's read some more. Boy, I hope not. Let's read some more.
Verse 24.
What it say?
Behold, here is my daughter.
Here is my who?
My daughter, a maid, and his concubine.
And his concubine. Look, so he to the point, these men are violent. He like, look, here my daughter, and his wife is too. Let's read some more.
Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing.
Right.
But the men would not hearken unto him.
What they would not do?
Would not listen.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her, and abused her all night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go.
So these men don't know how many of them was a gang of them. And when y'all talk about gang rape, this is a perfect example of gang rape. But the men brought her out. So is these men at fault, y'all? This is where the law gets into the part where we have to dig into these scriptures and see why righteous man, because this man was heading to Jerusalem, to the temple, wasn't he? That's where he said Holy Jerusalem. He said going, but this sidetracked him and they got to make a decision. Right. Do I get split open or do I let them with already a split get split open? Right. Let's read some more.
Verse 26. Then came the woman Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house, where her Lord was, till it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning, and opened the doors of the house, and went out to go his way. And, behold, the woman his concubine was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be gone.
So how is he talking to her after getting gang raped like this?
Right.
Y'all, we talking about righteous men, y'all. We got to make this and get this understood, or Sodom shouldn't have been destroyed. Or did Sodom get destroyed because they didn't take what these men did? Can you give your wife away to rape a man beating on the door? See, well, we'll read some more.
Yes.
Let's read some more. Okay.
The law says that the woman was made for the man, not the man for the woman.
But neither is the man without the woman.
But neither is the man without the woman.
Go ahead, let's read some more.
Verse 28. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her upon an ass, and the man rose up and gat him unto his place.
Right.
And when he was come unto the house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine, and divided her together with her bones unto 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coast of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it said, There was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider, take advice.
No, read consider of it.
Consider of it. Take advice and keep your mind.
And do what?
And speak your mind.
See, so this right here, this is telling us the Selah on this matter. And consider this. What is this telling us? Is this man righteous at this point? It ain't never been done in Israel up until this point, because it was Sodom and Gomorrah before Israel. So where a situation comes that where you actually say, here, take her, but don't rape my partner who coming in here to stay all night. What they saying out there too bad?
They don't sound sure.
See, I understand what you're saying, but the bottom line is, do you see judgment coming on this man?
Yes. Right.
Did you see judgment coming on Lot, or was he told to leave Sodom and Gomorrah by the hand of the angel after offering up his daughters? 2 daughters, same 2 women. Two women to maniacs that's coming to rape men. Is there a fine line there? Or can we find anywhere that this man was paying her back? You like to play the whore, do you? Like to play the whore, do you? Like verse 1 said, well, you gonna get your whore experience tonight, baby. Get out there with him. Was that on his mindset? Consider the matter and take advice on this, y'all. What is that last verse telling us? Y'all, that means we got to go to work.
Yeah. Seriously.
We got to go to work.
Because we have 2 instances of it, and then when we read into, or we're going into chapter 20.
No, they ain't gonna go into Elijah for time's sake.
If you read chapter 20, and you should, because it goes into him staying, and he sent these pieces to the 12 tribes to show them the sins of this tribe.
Yeah.
And so he didn't.
That boy holler,
When you put it at Benjamin to show
He didn't
the rest
give
of it.
Yeah.
a punishment wasn't decreed upon the Levite or the man, the husband, for what he did.
What did he
The
cut her up
decree
for?
came upon Benjamin.
What did he cut her up for? That was explained.
She was dead.
She was dead.
She was dead. So it wasn't like he just. I mean, it's the worst charge, mutilating a corpse.
Okay.
But it's a thing from the law.
They had raped her to death.
Exactly.
She had fallen at the door, her hands at the threshold. She couldn't even, she didn't have the strength to even pull herself into the house.
So that's why when
She was done.
She didn't say nothing.
She was done. She couldn't get up. He had to put her on the attic. She was done. Nothing else he could do with her or do for her. By the time he got to his place of destination,
She couldn't even walk.
She was done.
He had to put her on the ass to get her there.
That's what I'm saying. But by the time he got there, she was probably already giving up the ghost.
Yeah.
And so therefore, this is what he loved, but he wanted to send a reminder to all of Israel to show them what wickedness was wrought in Israel by the Benjamites.
The baby brother.
If you go into chapter 20, it'll break down what happened and how the Most High was going to wipe out the whole tribe of Benjamin, but he reserved a few men to repopulate the tribe of Benjamin.
So, and another thing, he didn't bring the other man's wife off, even though he offered her. It said they knew her, his concubine. That's who they knew. It wasn't 2 of them getting savage.
No.
It wasn't. It was only a male orgy on one woman.
And that was one that they weren't familiar with.
And see, and the reason they did her like that is because they wanted their men inside, so they were punishing her because they wouldn't let the man come out. They didn't care nothing about that. They was just having their way with it to send a message to the men in the house.
Right.
Now, y'all can imagine if all them men got a hold to the men in the house. Like that same way. I'm talking about, well, I ain't gonna talk about that.
But just
Let's read some more.
It didn't happen. They didn't go forward with getting the men, they abused the woman.
Yes.
But they were killed in chapter 20.
Yeah.
Because of what they did, they were sodomites because by force they took it.
They took it.
It was by force, rape.
Ain't no rape.
Ain't no rape, and every kind of other thing that was against her will, she wasn't consensual in that.
Right.
It was a forcible act. So anytime there's a forcible act, it's not a good thing. Right. That means one is not consenting to that activity. And now you have become a ruler, a dictatorship over that person. Right?
Now, and did this take place in the city or in the field? If they had done this in the field to her where she couldn't holler out at nobody, but this took place in the city. So this is why 20 is punishing them, because she was in the city. You know, so they took her by force, so they had to pay for that behavior. But the law states if a woman get raped and she be out in the field and no man can hear her, then she shall be forgiven. You know, because we don't know, you know, at this point, if it was consensual or not. But if she be in the city and get raped and cry not out, if she's in the city where somebody can hear her, he raping me! If there's somebody to stop for her, then she gets put to death. See, y'all, and this is what we're talking about, the law of God. Some people say it just ain't right. Is God unfair or are we unfair?
We are.
See, okay, so, and y'all, these are the things that we're talking to you about the law of rape. And the law says if she's out in the wilderness and somebody rape her, then we're going to get that man. We're going to kill him because she had nobody to come to her rescue. But if she be in the city and there's people around, you better scream to the top of your lungs. Right. It's like this. If somebody got a pistol on you, say, get in the trunk of the car. Kill me right here. That's for anybody, male or female. Why are you gonna get in the trunk and drive to your destination of death?
You think they ain't gonna kill you if you
They let them kill you on the parking lot. They're gonna kill you anyway. They'll kill you even more when you get in the trunk. Hell, at least it's gonna be on film and somebody gonna know what happened to me. But why are we gonna give it 10 years for a dog sniffing around or some Boy Scouts digging and dig up your grave? Oh, it's a dead body here 10 years later. Yeah, we found him right here. Rear end split over, we can see what a tailbone has been dislocated. Look like they cut him and strangled him too. Oh, kill me on the parking lot. Let's read some more. Where we at? That's it. Let's get right to it. Elijah, you want to hit that matter, but I tell you what, I'm gonna quit and miss a quick hit of light, and then we'll go to it, y'all, because y'all, we're gonna speed this through, y'all, and it's a thing called holy kiss too. Is it legal for a man to kiss another man?
Read them with the holy kiss.
See, so y'all, it's a lot of things in here that we have to understand that if you say, I won't do that part, but hell, I won't even do that. Will anybody in here put a rainbow up in their house? Y'all know what a rainbow is? It's around the throne of God. It's to let the whole world know that he'll never flood the world again. That's what it's for. It's around the throne of God. So what would shame you from not making sure nobody see a rainbow in your house?
Right.
Nothing but the pride fest. You don't want nobody to think you part of them. They shouldn't think you part of them because you should be able to explain that to them. It's like, do you not go to the store on December the 25th because it's Christmas Day? Shit, the baby needs drawers on. What you gonna put in a dish rag till the 26th? You can't be worried about it. They saying you doing some Christmas shopping. I ain't got no wrapping paper in my hand. Ain't got no tape in my hand. Got drawers for the baby and a peach cobbler. For me. It's not Christmas Day. It's a day of the Lord that they're practicing Christmas on. Right. You can go to the store on that day and don't have to worry about what no conscience of another man thinking. Now, if you in there easing and looking around, wrap it up quickly. I got some friends in the aisle 19. Wrap it quickly. Then it's a whole nother issue. Right. Let's read some more. Where we at? Let's get it, y'all. Let's hit these. I want to get right to the where you still understand hospitality. Matthew 10, 11 through 15. Then we're going to hit Galatians. No, Elijah, I want to hear what you want to hear. Deuteronomy 23, 3 and 4.
So we want to do Deuteronomy.
I did Song of Solomon. Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon, sorry. Song of Solomon I mentioned about. This is Solomon, the love king, so to speak. The 4th chapter got some very interesting language. That's why I say it's Solomon talking about Kama Sutra. See, we got to be careful that Kama Sutra, and what are we talking about, y'all, is what we can tell somebody what they can do in their bedroom, and it's nothing. All we can show you is the behavior of certain things that you cannot do being in a marriage bed. You cannot be a swinger. Invite company over your house and he come in your room and then you go in the room with his wife. That ain't what the marriage bed is saying. So it gives us the rundown of what it is. But men and women are not to dishonor themselves between their own bodies, meaning that you cannot make a woman do what she don't want to do, nor can a woman make you do what you don't want to do. The sandpaper.
That's why 1 Corinthians said, defraud not one another if you come together in consent. Right. If you're consenting to each other, then it's not a bad thing because your marriage is honorable. It's an honorable thing. However, anything outside of marriage is considered immoral. And any activity outside of the marriage.
Yes, sir. And understand what the script say. It says how they define it as oral copulation. Copulation is when the act is finished. You may be going too far with that. That means you like not what's below the belly button, that mouth, you like the other one more. If the seed of copulation, so there's fine language in there. And then there's foreplay. That's why we're talking about Songs of Solomon, 4th chapter. There's foreplay there. Yeah. There's a line you don't cross.
Right.
But the key words are seed of copulation. If a man's seed of copulation go from him, that means the act has been gone all the way through.
And finished.
And finished.
Because in the copulation is life, blood.
So y'all, it's some fine lines there that when it says what a sodomite is, so what a man is doing, a woman is doing in their bedroom, that's why I say gird your loins with truth. The problem is when y'all get ready to get divorced, everybody go below the belt. And what you say, they hidden where? Below the belt. He don't want nothing but that sandpaper every night. I told him, boy, ain't you scarred up and tore up right there? Ain't you tired of that blood on toilet? But he said, give me the sandpaper or else.
Say, give me the sandpaper or else.
How you get hooked on that?
At this point, now they're telling it to the public to shame him. Right. So that won't nobody else want him. And then he tells somebody else about her. Y'all ain't gonna believe this, yeah. But you've been married to her for 20 years. How you gonna show me her text messages and you gonna be back with her in 2 weeks?
Or your boy gonna be trying to get with her after that because of
what you done told him. Shit, he don't care nothing about that. He like, that's what I like. Disease. Let's read some more. Where we at? Y'all, we got to finish these up, y'all. We're going to get out of here. We're approaching the 5 o'clock hour.
Where you at?
I'm at Matthew 10, 11 through 15. Y'all, and this is what we're talking about, hospitality again. But what we're talking about is the Most High say, if this happened, Sodom and Gomorrah going to get a lightweight sentence on judgment versus this. So we have to look at it again and see how important it is to watch it. What's the first thing the Messiah did with his disciples after they got through eating? What'd he do?
Wash their feet.
Peter said, wash my whole head and my body. He said,
John 13:13.
no, this is sufficient enough for you.
Right.
Let's get this back to y'all. And then we're going to hit that Luke 7:36 that's coming up next. Y'all, these some quick hitters. And we got the no exception rule. Well, write this down next. Deuteronomy 23:3 and 4, Liza, that's what you wanted. Galatians 1 and 8 is going to tell you that there's a no exception rule for certain things. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Matthew 10 and
verse 11.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter.
Hold on, everybody there. Matthew chapter 10, verse 11. What they saying out there, 2 by?
You crazy.
Well, look, y'all. Under no circumstances.
You say, why the woman? Why?
Well, see, and that's what we're talking about, y'all. Is it like it's just beating up on the woman, or we trying to get some order established here, or what is the situation? This is the same situation in Hosea where the prophet was told to go marry 2 whores. See, this woman had played the harlot. You know, so ain't no telling what's on the mind or why this situation took place. But when you get into chapter 20, like Elijah's saying, your answer of why will be there. And notice it wasn't his first wife, so to speak. It was one he just picked up, by the way, finally met her father. Shit even done it, but this is chaos. They finna kill everybody in the house. They're going to rape every man in the house, and they're going to end up killing everybody anyway. But these is a tribe of Israel that's leading the way. And see, if we don't be careful and tell you to read 20, right now it'll be a message going out to say they teaching down at the Sears building that the whole tribe of Benjamin is fags.
Not if you read
they went to Judges
20.
19. Now niggas say Benjamin is fag. Now on our 12 tribe chart, we say they this.
Read chapter 20.
Judges 20.
Amen.
Judges 20.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah. Let's get it. Matthew chapter 10, verse 11. And this is the Most High giving instruction. Y'all bag it up and read when he sent us out into these. I'm going to send you out sheep among who? Wolves. So y'all ain't no location salvation. He wants you to be strong men to scare off these sodomites. Remind them of fire and brimstone. Let's read so what it say.
And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire in it who's worthy.
See, so y'all, it ain't like you just give hospitality anyway. What did it say? Inquire of what?
Who's worthy.
See, who's worthy?
Wow.
It's not no anybody. It's just not telling you to go meet them. And you can't go to a non-messianic maniac's house.
That's what that Sirach 12 is about.
We gonna get there, Elijah. Let's get some over there.
And when you come into an house, salute it.
Do what?
And when you come into an house, salute it.
So you can't go in, turn over nobody's Christmas tree. You're standing here. You got to salute the house like he did the Pharisees in Matthew 5th chapter. He saluted the house. How y'all doing? Good afternoon, everybody. Legal food on the table, right? Yes, it is, Rabbi. You salute the house. You don't go in nobody's house disrespecting nobody's house. Let's read some more.
Verse
13.
13. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you.
That ain't hard instructions, is it? No. About hospitality. Nope. Let's read some more.
And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when you depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah.
For the men of Sodom and Gomorrah.
The land.
For the women.
The land.
Okay.
Of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
See, so that whole city will be judged if they don't accept your words and coming in there, the words of the Lord. It says, shake the dust from your feet and move. It's going to be more tolerable. So what is the situation? Is this hospitality that it's reigning supreme over what he was talking about, the anal rape? Because look, if they don't hear the good news, they can't even heal from that. That's the issue. If they don't listen, they can't heal. So you leave that house sick like it is. You're like, oh, this house is sick. And you shake the dust from your feet. But it ain't spoken nothing to send them men out here having. How is this crime worse than what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah?
And then you'll see that it says it'll be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah for that than for that whole city if one household denies the word. Just like in the Feast of Tabernacles in Zechariah 14. If one house does not come up to the border and give alms and show their hospitality and love and praise to the Most High and His only begotten Son, they shall not receive rain in due season.
That's right.
Therefore famine shall come. Therefore starvation and plagues.
Everybody in the city.
Everybody in the city have to suffer behind that. You know, but the city is being judged. Because this is law. This has been brought down from the judges of the city that do this type of behavior. Yeah, y'all see them niggas? Look, same way when the two witnesses come. Guess what's going to happen when they get killed in the street? What the people going to be doing? They say they're going to send gifts to one another. Them niggas dead. Them niggas dead.
Finally, we ain't got to hear that.
We ain't got to hear that word of the Lord. Them niggas is dead. And 3 days again, they rise up. Not no reincarnation, the same two men. And they go, oh! And then judgments rains down.
That's right.
Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get caught up, y'all. That's it for that license. Okay. I just want to hit Luke 7:36. Y'all, we're going to run through these quick hitters. I just want to hit a couple deals that where the script tells us what's outside of the marriage bed. And then just gonna hit the quick hitters about what is a holy kiss and the dark side of a kiss. Like what Judas Iscariot did. Greeted him with a kiss of death. So there's a kiss of death. And then when you start talking about bedroom, should we be French kissing? Or should we, or is there a such thing called Israelite kissing? See, once you start going down that rabbit hole behind somebody's closed door, everything starts coming to play. Should me and him kiss, even if you say we can't do that, should we French kiss? Not two men, right? But what we're talking about is now you're controlling that room and you cannot do it. If they dishonor their bodies between themselves, they know what they're doing because they will tell the public when you break up.
Because it's no longer honorable.
It's no longer honorable. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Luke 7:36.
Yes, sir.
And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house. and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city which was a sinner.
What was she?
A sinner. When she knew that Yahweh sat at meat in the Pharisees' house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears.
Was she wiping?
His feet.
See, look, he's a guest in the house. So what's the first thing she do? What is the Pharisees doing? Let's read some more. Go ahead.
Entertainment.
Go ahead.
And began to wash his feet with tears.
Right.
And did wipe them with the hairs of her head.
Right.
And kissed his feet and anointed them with the ointment.
So right here, you got a woman. What is her glory? 1 Corinthians 11. Her hair. So you see what she wiping his feet with? Her glory. With expensive oil. Y'all, this was expensive oil. Like y'all, women go buy that high dollar cologne from Macy's. This was way beyond that. High dollar ointment. Let's read some more right here.
39. Now when the Pharisee which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that toucheth him. For she is a sinner.
So basically he said, look, if he was a prophet, he knows she was a hoe. He ain't no prophet. See, they tempting him. See, but guess what type of group, shalom y'all, guess what type of group, guess what type of group of people this is? The Pharisees. He saluted the house and went in, but they are tempting him against the law, but they're pointing the finger at somebody else breaking the law and not realizing the law of hospitality is gone away. Let's read what the Messiah say though.
And Yahweh answered, verse 40. Yahweh answered and said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he said, Master, say on. There was a certain creditor which had two debtors. The one owed 500 pence, and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me therefore, which of them will love him most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet.
What they do?
Gavest me no water for my feet.
Right.
But she hath washed my feet with tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head.
Y'all see the water she producing?
Yeah.
She producing tears to wash his feet with her. He said, I've been in here sitting here a minute, and you niggas ain't did nothing. No water for my feet. None. Let's read some more.
45. Thou gavest me no kiss.
What thou give me?
No kiss.
What kiss we talking about? Let's read some more.
But this woman, since the time I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou dost this not anoint. But this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven.
Oh, what?
Forgiven. For she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. He said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven.
Right.
And they that sat at meat with him began to say within themselves, Who is this that forgiveth sins also? And he said unto the woman, Thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace.
So y'all, we see here again that hospitality, the sin of Sodom was reigning with these Pharisees. You ain't gave me no water to wash my feet since I've been in here. You Negroes probably got pork masked in some kind of beef juice. Know what you Negroes up to. But y'all gonna point the finger at this woman and talk about her sins, and she's trying to get them wiped away. You Negroes pulling the setup move on me. Pharisees, which he say, unless your righteousness exceed what?
Pharisees.
You should have no part in what? So how can we bond with all Israelites, and can we bond with Pharisees at this point? Because he went in to eat with them and was showing an example of righteous men who called themselves more righteous than the next person and point out sinners. Because you get to Luke 18, he said 2 men went up to the temple to pray, a Pharisee and a sinner. The sinner beat on his chest and say, Forgive me, Lord, a sinner. And then the Pharisee said, he prayed thus when he said, I don't sin like these niggas over here. Shit, I pay my tithes. These niggas ain't got no money. And I do that fast all time a week. He said, who went down justified? The sinner or this man champion what he have to do because he's broadcasting his arm. Yeah, we can hold that. We're gonna call it at 5. Okay, here we go. Where we at? We want that Deuteronomy 23, 3 and 4. Yes, sir. And y'all, and once again, and we're gonna go to 1 Samuel 2, because we're gonna see once again, poor hospitality causes problems for Israel before any wickedness starts. You can see poor hospitality when it comes to your door. If somebody ringing your doorbell, come right in and go in your stove and refrigerator, ain't even introduce themselves, you be like, who is this nigga? Well, the boy say it's open door policy, not around here. I tell you what, both y'all get going. Man, how you bring this over here? Look, I don't know him. That's what these youngsters doing today. Their friends ride in a car that's a friend of somebody else. They don't even know who it is. It's just this friend befriended him, and this Negro's a jack on it. You just got him in your car because he a friend of a friend. Right. And then he said, I'm going to run in the store. Wait till here he come back running out with a pistol and a sack of money. Now you sitting in the car. Man, why you didn't tell me your boy was... What you mean, why I didn't tell you? Let's read it. Where we at?
Deuteronomy 23.
Yes, sir. Go 3 and 4.
Deuteronomy 23?
Yes, sir.
3 and 4, yep.
We need to get a space in there.
You cold?
Well, I'm freezing.
Boy,
You're usually hot.
oh, yeah.
I'm drinking.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. You ain't got no antifreeze, huh?
I'm sober.
Let's get it.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 3. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Most High forever.
So is this about race mixing? Don't know yet, dude. Let the scripture answer why they can't come in. Let's read.
4. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Most High thy Elohim would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Most High thy power turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Most High thy power loved thee.
So right here, why can't the Amorites come in?
Because
was this about race
hospitality.
mixing? Or was this about hospitality?
It's about hospitality.
You coming out of there, you know the Lord is driving them. You done seen what happened in Egypt, and you ain't gonna offer them no. You know the Lord is with them. You like, man, hell with them niggas. I ain't giving them. That's our bread. Hell with this nigga. He said, okay.
Let the Lord give them the bread.
We'll see about this later. So 10 generations called no hospitality. Y'all. So do y'all see how important hospitality is? And what? Go ahead, bro. And order in the hospitality. You just can't open the doors for anybody. These camps got a deal where they have a man go out and find a woman with an apartment. After he's put all his clothes in the drawer and put his pictures up, then guess what he do? He invite his boy to it. And that's their form of hospitality. And then he moves this another man into the house with this woman who's her house. Now the problem be when they go take a pee. Now yours tickling, hitting the water, and he pissed sound like a horse. Well, guess what? You finna get out. And she gonna take care of a man. It's gonna be him.
I want that racehorse.
But this is what they fight. This all you hear. That's all you hear is them moving another man into the house of their woman, and then chaos starts. And his wife swapping starts. And all they talk about is she wanted to ride. This what we had a marriage with nobody around, and you bring your boy into this. And now y'all squad because she put him out. No. He need a pamper on. He's still a child. Heard the way he was pissing. This man get to stay. Y'all think, y'all hear all the stories? Every one of these chaotic stories about that is two men being brought into the home of a woman that they ain't got no name on the lease. Their name ain't on the lease. And they call this hospitality. Let's read some more. Where we at? Let's go to, we're going to speed this up. 1 Samuel 25:4.
Also in that Deuteronomy 23, you see in verse 17, the law
Yes, sir. Yes,
of
sir.
the price of a whore and the price of a sodomite.
Yeah.
Sodomite shouldn't be found amongst the sons of Israel, and a whore amongst the daughters of Israel.
See, and y'all see how they put the two separate? A sodomite is for the man, and a whore is for a woman. You don't mix the two. So we got to be careful with what this says about that, what a sodomite is. The Bible tells us what it is. And then when we get into the first, Romans 1:26, y'all write that down. 1 Corinthians 6:9-10 will tell you the rules of the marriage bed, what can be in there. Them two is two witnesses that will lay it on the line. And not only that, it says men doing that. And then guess what else? It goes a step farther and it says in Romans 1:26, nor effeminate. Hold on, you got homosexual, and then it says nor effeminate. That means a man that's changed himself completely into a woman. See, you got anal rapists that's in jail or come out of jail now, and they say, well, I'm not really a sodomite because I do the plugging. I'm not the plug-in. But that's in their mind. You're still doing what's outside the marriage bed no matter who's in charge of the rape.
And it's forcible.
But the whore is a total different thing. You understand? So when you worry about that woman that got raped, you still got to look at verse 1. See, you can't pass up what she did at first, before she got to her father's house.
Was that her judgment?
Was that her judgment?
Being a whore?
Because sin, it never said her sins was forgiven for that. It said she just rekindled it with her husband. But sins still have to be paid for. Because there's depths, and do we know if that was the sin she had to pay for, or was it to send Israel a message? Y'all got a tribe. There's some booty bandits. They force men to wear their boxer shorts with the slit in the back when you come in their town. That's how they greet you. All of a sudden you stand there, instead of giving you a wedgie, they spin your drawers around backwards. Let's listen more. Legs still in there. Go ahead.
So just like with any other laws, the scripture shows there's various levels of that wickedness behavior. So you have forcible homosexuality, then you have consensual homosexuality.
The effeminate
side, where they consensual in the act.
Or
one wants to be a woman in so much.
What D-Wade allowing his son to do is effeminate.
Right.
They got him in clothes, and Ox Sleepy just sent me some. This one, what's this actor name? Where's Sleepy?
That black girl with the dress?
Billy Scott, Billy Porter.
Yeah.
Here it is right here. Can you zoom in on this? This is Charlene Theron.
Yeah,
you know, y'all know.
The adopted boys.
Yeah, she tried to
Do you see them boys?
Yeah, I told that yesterday.
That's what she doing to two boys. Charlie Theron, she's a white actor. These are two Hebrew boys that she adopted. Do you see how they got there?
She dressed them in girl clothes.
That's right.
Immediately.
Yeah. Immediately, once she got custody of them, she started buying them all girl clothes. Both of them.
And y'all, why we have to be careful, this is why I tell you to think on that, because this is why we have to be careful. You have to always say, I want a boy, I got 6 girls, I want a boy so bad. And then you get a 7th girl. I'm saying, do you look at the Lord, it's like, why you won't give me a son? Why you won't give me a son? You should just be happy he gave you seed.
That's right.
You're going to have a grandson. You may not have a son, but you may have a grandson. That's going to be your son. You may want to live through your son. You may want to make him where you didn't prosper at. So no, you get a daughter. You know, and so what happens is all women want a son. Like a partner of mine told me his mother dressed his 6-month-old brother up this same way in church. Went to sing in the choir, but the baby cut one. I'm talking about it needed homicide tape up. They thought somebody was dead in the church. And she was saying, the mother said she didn't drop the bomb. He didn't drop the bomb, thinking it's a girl. I get it, and all you keep singing.
Right.
Pulled that pamper out, and Johnson stood up. She looked up there, and all she said,
That's a mama.
that's all she had to say. Didn't have to say no more. You would do that and bring the baby to church.
Right.
And you didn't think nobody was gonna know. Eventually this boy is gonna show.
Exactly.
Now they mad at little Bootsy because he said, man, if he end up getting, let him do it, but don't cut his manhood off. He's too young, he don't know what he wants.
I just read it this morning.
Now he finna do a world tour of letting his boy be a girl. Become effeminate, which can't enter into the kingdom of heaven. Do we bash at it? All we do, y'all, when the question come up about what we believe,
Millstone.
we believe what the God of the Bible believes.
Amen.
That's all you have to say. Because if you say anything else, they're gonna trap you up in the law. You just ask them this: if God approve of it, then I will.
That's right.
And where they gonna stand? Where they gonna be? Because they have to look at here where He approved it.
Exactly.
They can't blame you because now they're stepping on your religious beliefs. Because I didn't cross the line. Y'all said y'all believe what God said because you posted Public Law 97-280. The Bible is the official word of God. And we bring you to court, we have you put your hand on this. And if you have me to do this, but the thing I'm gonna ask is, shit, whatever God says is wrong is wrong.
That's right.
Whatever man say, I don't trust it.
Right.
They cannot fire you, they cannot lock you up for that because they're saying this is what we govern ourselves by. Y'all, we got to play the game. But the rules has already been laid out for us. Eleazar showed you how to get around. That's why we say keep reading Jasher 19. You're going to see how Eleazar, Abraham's servant, get around Sodom and Gomorrah. He ended up busting their head with the rock. He played it on them. Y'all make sure y'all continue to read that Jasher 19 so y'all can see and get instructions how to deal with this. We ain't going to have time to get into the book of Tobit, but want y'all to get in there. What y'all going to see is Tobit is he's in captivity. He's keeping a feast day in captivity. He's burying the dead. When they vow anybody bury a dead Israelite, he brought dead bodies into his house. And hid them in the basement till it got dark, and then he took them and buried them. Because the law came out, you don't bury them, leave them out there so the birds will eat them up. You leave them out there like roadkill. He would not do it. And all these things is taking place in captivity. So if you want to know how you can move in captivity, read the entire book of Tobit. And also, there's a marriage ceremony in there. And there's also an angel, Raphael, meeting him to go handle a situation about a daughter that a sex demon keep attacking her and killing her husband. All that's combined in the book of Tobit. In captivity. You want to get to understand, you want to know how to move in America, get on it. I ain't gonna say no more about it. Go ahead, Life.
Talks about the marriage contract.
Yeah.
And all that. Things that we're dealing with today. But I also want you to put in your arsenal because we won't have time to hit it. Sirach chapter 42. Verse 24, where it says Most High makes nothing imperfect.
Right.
So those who claiming that they were born gay, take them to that scripture because the Most High say He makes no mistake. Nothing is made imperfect.
That's right.
Everything is created good and in its due season.
Yes, sir.
You said 22,
40, Sirach chapter 42, verse 24.
Oh, I got it.
Y'all, we're gonna roll through these really quickly, y'all. We just got a few. We're gonna hit them quick. We ain't gonna even read down that for 1 Samuel 25. Because we have to show the side of hospitality, the wicked side. Hit me 1 Samuel 25 and 4. And this David, after he showed hospitality to Nabal, and so we think, why did the Lord kill Nabal? Everybody think because he was wicked. They ain't got a clue. The word is hospitality. Somebody treat you right, how you gonna treat them like this? You return the faith.
Right.
The Lord will punish you for that.
Paying evil for good.
Paying evil for good, right. paying good for eating.
Yeah.
Well, you know how to go. You missed it right. Yeah, you missed it right. Let's get it, y'all, really quickly.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25 and verse 4.
Right.
It reads, "And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity."
That liveth in what?
In prosperity.
He living good, y'all. Go ahead.
"Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast."
Did we just see the Messiah offer the same thing when he went to the Pharisees' house? He said, go with hospitality. Salute the man's house. Let's read some more.
Verse 7. "And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel."
We're going to skip down to verse 14 for time's sake, y'all, because what it's saying here is David said, y'all had shearers in Carmel. We watched them and made sure nobody jacked them. We protected them from you, me and our men. Now we in the wilderness, we need the favor returned to us. All I'm asking for is just a little bread to get us over to this point, and we'll get the bread the rest of the way. But we'll see verse 14. What it say?
Verse 14. "But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master."
To do what?
To salute our master.
Y'all see the hospitality? She laid on that to salute our. Go, get on read.
"And he railed on them."
And what he do?
He railed on them.
Man, them niggas better get on away from her. Niggas get a job. They already work. Ain't looked at that they taking care of his sheep.
Right.
Watching his men so they don't get jacked. He like, man, tell them niggas to go ahead on. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 15. "But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the field. They were a wall unto us both by night and day. All the while we were with them keeping the sheep."
So right here, y'all read the rest of that. Just setting you up so you understand what the man is telling him. They were like a wall to us. Nobody could get in to attack us. And then he gonna get down. The young man gonna see what neighbor said. Man, I don't want to hear that noise. I ain't asked them niggas to protect me. And then you will read the rest of the story. What David said. David said, "Okay, it's time to shake the dust from his feet." But Abigail stepped up. See, and then you got men saying, well, even like Abigail, her husband Nabal, he wicked as he was, she still did the right thing. She stayed with him. She did this. No matter how wicked the man is, you stay with him. BS. Because see, the one part you ain't gonna take is what she told David her husband's name is. His name Nabal, which means fool.
Right.
So how would she greet him? Good morning, fool. Hey, fool, I need to go to the store. You think they gonna take that? You think they want that part of it be like Abigail? And then she told David, well, look, this nigga crazy. I'll get you some raisins and some cake. This nigga, his name Nabal, it means fool anyway. How you want your woman to tell some other man you a fool? So you want them really to be like Abigail? Really? Better change your name from fool. Let's read some more. We can hold that. Y'all read the rest of that. Y'all, we're going to hit just these last one, the holy kiss. Give me these quick hitters. Romans 16:16. 1 Peter 5:14. Elijah, we'll finish up with that. You want to take the manners at the table? Because it'll wind up,
Hospitality.
yeah.
Say right 31.
Yes.
Why don't y'all do it continue next week?
Well, looks like you got enough for another one, or we kind of wrap it up, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I got enough and we can close it out next week.
I mean, will it make a fool? Or we just throw it on it?
We can always make it a full.
Right there.
We don't have a problem with that.
Or we can always just, I can give homework.
Get homework, y'all. We need to do some homework sometime.
No, I just give homework for what,
But I want to get your I want to get your hospitality man. I want to get that, whatever else you see. We got 15 minutes. Y'all, we got to get out of here in 15 minutes. So give me these quick. Romans 16:16. Write these down. 1 Peter 5:14. They quick hitters. 1 Corinthians 15:20. I tell you what, let's just get to Romans 16. We just do 2 witnesses. Y'all write down 1 Corinthians 15:20. The problem is, how do you kiss another man? What man will let you do that today if you hell? Oh, you just hanging up. Hey. Well, your breath smell my jaw be stinking all day. No, do you? Because society got us not knowing how to greet. We greet each other like that. That's a form of a holy kiss. Right. When you grab a hand and you go side to side. But there's a form of that you can be greeted with that and somebody ready to kill your ass. It's called the kiss of death. Right. Where y'all think that came from? Y'all think that was just made up in the movies, or is this about the Messiah and Judas Iscariot? Got the kiss of death.
And who we show it to? The Romans. Who are the Romans? The Italians.
Yeah.
That's where the kiss of death comes from. They popularized it, but it came from Israel.
They didn't take it for the good side.
No. They popularized the death behind it.
Let's get these really quick, y'all. Romans 16:16.
The book of Romans, chapter 16 and verse 16.
What it say?
Salute one another with an holy kiss.
Do what?
Salute one another with an holy kiss.
Yes, sir.
The churches of Hamashiach salute you.
So, right, that's how we're supposed to greet each other. Now, we got to get down to the point of where we are not offending each other with a commandment of the Lord. So how do we do that and not you look at your boy and say, Negro, I don't do no sandpaper around here. No, but so this is what's saying. Hit the next one.
The next verse?
No, the next 1 Peter 5:14.
You're right.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 14.
Yes, sir.
Says, greet ye one another with a kiss of charity. Peace be with you all that are in Christ Jesus. Amen.
So right there we see that greet with a holy kiss for charity wise too. You're letting somebody know, man, what's up, bro? It's the only way you can let a man know, man, I love you, bro, without it crossing over to effeminacy. Right. Or it's crossing over to a part of the act of Sodom and Gomorrah. The door banging. So, you know, and sometimes women don't understand men that have a bond. You niggas must be some fags. Right. You gonna go to the game with him. You ain't asked me to go to the game. You ain't even interested in sports, right?
1 and 26 is what you want.
Yeah.
2 Samuel 1 and 26.
126 is what I want on the evil side.
No, David and Jonathan.
That's what I was talking about. But that's what we talking about. That, but 2 Samuel 20 and 9 was what I was talking about. The kiss of death. Okay, so we got them two, y'all. Let's get these 2 witnesses right here. The kiss of death. 2 Samuel 20 and 9. And we're going to see some of y'all on how Israelites used to do it. Y'all, you knew it was trouble the way this one took place. 2 Samuel 20 and 9, and then we're going to hit Matthew 26 and 49, y'all. Like, so we'll tighten it up with them manners at the table. We'll read a couple of them, like, because all you going to say is,
Oh, my, bro.
okay.
2 Samuel chapter 20, verse 9.
Hold on, everybody there?
Like I said, they should be given for homework there.
Okay, yeah, we're the front way. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
2 Samuel 29 says, and Joab said to Amasa, art thou in help, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand and kissed him.
To kiss him. Mm-hmm. So first thing he asked him was, you in good health? Right. So it's a greeting like you do, bro. Hey man, how you feeling, bro? You good? And you do the pound, you know you good. But he grabbed him by his beard, bro. Man, you good? You know, there's a line you can't cross. It never says kiss a man on the lips. That's why it said the beard side, you know, ain't no beard on the lips. You know, so these things are kept in the context. So, but the dark side like to take it to another level and turn both face to the lips. And then we got what we call effeminate. Because somebody gonna have to play the role. And if they get married, what side you gonna sit on? The bride or the groom, and it's 2 men. What side you gonna represent?
Boy, I didn't know that presidential candidate was gay.
Yes, sir.
Which one? Booty check.
Booty J. Yo, look, got the right name, Booty J. Yeah. Y'all better be careful, though. Booty J may be in there. Cause ain't nobody else to compete. You know, Sanders can't get it here. Boy, and the one boy, they just joked him out how short he is. That we need to stand on telephone books. Yeah. Come on, y'all, listen to these real quick. Matthew 26:49.
Matthew 26.
26:49. One hitter, y'all. You what, boy? Booty cheek. Man, yeah, you ain't seen it, sir? I ain't never heard of it. Yeah, Booty J, boy, that's coming like a secretariat down the back stretch.
They say he be hugging
On stage, or kissing.
He kissing his husband on stage.
On stage,
And
y'all.
so if you calling him his partner the husband, then he's the female.
Sure is. Right.
He the wife.
Y'all, so are we in line for the Antichrist who have no regard for women?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll be the perfect setup.
Useful woman.
And I said because all the other candidates are old, on their way out.
Sure is.
And when I was looking at the debate, I was like, man, that dude right there, he a young boy. He might get it because then my son said, Daddy, he a funny bunny. I said, that's what he really may get it did. Because America loves that. And it'll help usher in all the wickedness that they trying to
That's what they want.
establish.
That's what they want.
And if the chief says it's okay,
Let's get it.
Matthew chapter 26. I'm gonna start at 48. I mean,
Say Matthew.
it's 29. I thought you
Yeah,
said
49.
26 and 49.
Yes, sir.
I said I was gonna start at 48.
Okay. Hand your business, bro.
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying,
He that did what?
betrayed him,
Right.
gave them a sign,
Right? See,
saying,
it's a sign.
whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast.
See, now, this lets you know also that the disciples look so much alike, they didn't look like no other mixed tribe because he said the light-skinned nigga. They said the sign was because he said the one I kissed, that's the Messiah. All of them had beards and different things. They looked just alike. They didn't know which one was. All of them was doing miracles.
Right.
So the Romans didn't know which one it was. So they paid Judas Iscariot. How you gonna get close to him? Well, we got this holy kiss thing we do. The one I do greet him like that. That's gonna be the one. He's the Messiah. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna greet him first. Let's read some more.
Verse 49.
What it say?
And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him,
What did he say to him?
Friend, wherefore art thou come?
See, friend. He called him a friend. Negro, you a friend. See, now you get into the Psalms and different things where it talk about my own familiar friend.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
He been knowing Judas since they was 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
They were kindergarten buddies, pre-primer.
from the projects, from the same hood and now.
Any more of that, or you gonna hold that? Because I just want to hit that last one, table manners, and we call it a day, Elisha. Just a little bit of that. What is it? What is Elisha?
That's Sirach 31.
Yeah, just tell me when you go to somebody's house how to behave yourself, and come, y'all. We're gonna close out. Sirach, what is Elisha? 31.
What's the Psalm?
143.
Sirach 31 and chapter 32 is the script dealing with hospitality. Also write down Sirach chapter 17, 22 talks about the arms of a man, and First Corinthians 14 and 1 tells us that charity brings perfection. Colossians 3:14.
Yes, sir. We're gonna start at 31 and 12, like so. We just gonna read down to 21. We call it a day. Y'all read the rest of that, cause all the rest of it is good. We just gonna start at Sirach 31, 12 to 21, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
cause there's some instructions here.
Yeah. Sirach chapter 31, verse 12. If thou sit at a bountiful table, Be not greedy upon it.
Be not what?
Greedy upon it. And say not, there is much meat on it. When you at a buffet and all that. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye?
What is created more wicked than an eye? You see all through these scriptures, blind men are getting passes on lusting.
Right.
How they gonna lust after a beautiful woman and never seen what a woman looked like before in their life? They may have felt you know, the difference, but there would still be a problem if a man then lotion himself up and sitting in oils like Esther. But a blind man is not charged with lust. Let's read some more.
Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye? Therefore it weepeth upon every occasion. Stretch not thine hand whithersoever it looketh, and thrust it not with him into the dish. Judge of thy neighbor by thyself.
By thy who?
Self. And be discreet in every point.
Every point. Judge your neighbor, your partner by yourself. But that's the rule. Go to him one-on-one, Matthew 18. He don't hear it, take 2 or 3 with you. They don't hear them, then you bring the church in on. But this is same rules. These are laws that apply the same thing Messiah said. Go to your partner one-on-one.
My script says, judge not your neighbor by yourself. You saying it's saying judge your neighbor by itself?
Says judge of thy neighbor by thyself. Judge of thy neighbor by thyself. Go ahead. And be discreet in every point. Go ahead.
Eat as it becometh a man.
As it becometh a what?
A man.
See, a man eat responsibly. If you eat and somebody has to take you to the car, you can't walk, you done just overate, you got acid reflux, you sitting there trying to get, who got some Tums?
Yep. And then you go to a buffet and you get all this food that you ain't gonna eat, and then you waste it.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, brother.
Eat as it becometh a man, those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
If you start eating like a hobo, Lord have mercy, that's so good. What else? I got some peach cobbler back there too. And everybody at the table looking this. Where the hell did he come from eating like this?
They tell you, don't bring them back.
Don't bring them back. Read some more, like.
Don't bring that nigga back. Verse 17. Leave off first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
See, you will offend somebody, they prepare a meal for you and you get indigestion. That's offensive to the cook. How you gonna be sitting out there like this?
What you put in them greens?
What you put in them greens? Baby, you got my medicine over there. You know my medicine for bad food. And look, your plate empty though. Right. They had to put railings around your plate because it was stacked up so much, and it's empty. And you talking about what was in them greens? Let's read some more.
18.
Yeah.
When thou sittest amongst many, reach not thine hand out first of all. Meaning don't be the first one to touch the pot and you ain't brought nothing.
Right. One beer bringing mother.
Y'all laughing because y'all know something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Call. Verse 19. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Well what?
Nurtured. And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
See, and he fetches not his wind. He can't hardly breathe because he done ate so much, and then you go lay down. It's hard to breathe because the food is coming back up here. It's digesting you. Everything is overworking. It's trying to pump acid in there to digest that food. Now you done laid down and you full up to here. Then if you can't catch your wind, and then you're gonna start passing wind. Because the next thing you say is, if I can just crack a good one, I'll get some relief.
Oh, man.
There it is.
Now, ain't nobody else eating but you eating again.
Right. No, I need some baking soda. I need some baking soda. Let's get some more. Well, finish that off, like
Verse 20. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
What comes of moderate eating?
Sound
sleep when you cut it off. You hear me, my boy? Levi Raphael say cut it off at 6. That's kind of hard on me right now. But I'm working on it.
Till 6.
Don't get home till 6. It's a little bit rough on you. But you got to cut it off, or you got to give your body time to digest while you're moving and exercising that help digest. But if you lay down, your digestive system is working while you're supposed to be asleep. And guess what that brings? Nightmares. Exactly. You see fire shoot out of cat rig and wake up. Boy, read
and you gonna wake up hungry.
Hit that 20 again, like
20. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
Right.
But the pain of watching and choler and pains of the belly are with an unsatiable man.
And choler is what, like they give babies when you have to put baking soda on their tongue. It's an upset stomach, colic, same thing. Right. This is what the Bible is telling you. This is what's going to happen to you if you continually to overeat. This is why you got to be careful with the Genesis 1:29. Because you won't stop, boy. 70 munchies will jump on your rear end and you'll be through. You'll be full of candies and pies and
Oreo.
Open up a can of string beans ain't cooked and just start eating it.
And then talking about my stomach.
My stomach. Go ahead, bro. 21 license.
21. And if thou hast been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest.
Y'all see that? If it say, no, you ain't gonna leave till you eat all of it. Eat all of it, but go in the room and stick your finger down your throat.
Can we check this?
Go ahead. We're going down. So
not to be a supermodel, not to be anorexic, but to get some relief. Go ahead, bro.
My son, hear me and despise me not. And at the last thou shalt find as I told thee. And all thy works be quick.
Be what?
Quick. So shall there no sickness come unto thee. Whoso is liberal of his meat, men shall speak well of him. And the report of his good housekeeping will be believed. But against him that is a nigger.
That is a what?
A nigger.
Not in the scriptures.
Yeah.
Go ahead, a nigger. Y'all know you talk about them when they leave. They thought he was going to eat up all the chicken. Ate the big piece too. Go ahead. Go. Yeah.
But against him that is a nigger of his meat, the whole city shall murmur. And the testimonies of his niggerness shall not be doubted.
See,
that nigga wasn't no
right. And when you look up nigger or niggerly, it means extremely stingy. Right. So what he brought here, he's a one beer bringing mother. You know, you got 20 people here, and you come with a 40-ounce open in the bag. This what you got. And you sipping out. Now who you gonna pass it to?
And then you reaching for everybody else.
Else's drink. Right. After you finish yours, belch and fart, then you look, man. You bring you bring that Heineken and Corona. Man, you got that good stuff though. Can I have one of them?
No, it's gonna make you sick, dog.
No, it's gonna make you right. But y'all, we gonna close on out of here. We gotta get on out of here, y'all. Lysa, what you got for homework?
I got too much love for you. All right. Homework, y'all.
What they saying out there, too, by?
LOL sounds like Tahar. That's all.
Right, agree. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, homework. Jasher chapter 4. This breaks down the sins of men before the flood,
yes,
which
sir.
was a lack of hospitality. So, before Sodom and Gomorrah, they would have been considered sodomites too.
Yeah. Before Sodom and Gomorrah.
Before Sodom and Gomorrah. Sirach chapter 16, verse 7 and 8 talks about Sodom's pride. Sirach chapter 17 talks about giving alms. Tobit 4 talking about alms. Sirach 12, 2 through 7, I told you was talking about not giving just giving your bread to everybody that passed by.
Yes, sir.
But try the spirit of those and not give thy words wherewithal or thy victuals to a sinner, but only unto a godly man. All right. Charity, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 1 through 13. Jude chapter 1, 6 through 7. We did Jeremiah 23, 14. Ezekiel 16, 47 through 55. And in 1 Kings chapter 14, verse 24. 1 Kings chapter 15, verse 12. 1 Kings chapter 22 and 46 talks about how the Sodomites were kicked out of the land. Which, I'm sorry. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 46.
What was that, Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 16, 47 through 55.
And run them, 1 Kings again.
1 Kings chapter 14, verse 24. 1 Kings chapter 15, verse 12. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 46. These are the Sodomites being kicked out of the land. Jeremiah 23, 14. Also, if you have the book of Josephus, Flavius Josephus, the antiquities, the Jewish antiquities, chapter 9, chapter 8, verse 21 through 22, and chapter 11 breaks down what the sins of Sodom. Also, it breaks down, because Josephus was a Pharisee.
Right.
So he was well trained in the laws, the Torah. And so he rewrote what was written in the laws for the people of that time. And so what he does is go into a little more further detail about some of the ordinances and some of the laws and some of the ordinances that lie under certain laws. And so he gives a little more detailed account about the sodomite and the price of the whore and the price of the dog and things of that nature. So you'll see those in those scripts that I gave you. That's all I got.
That's it, boy. Lay it on the line. Now y'all gonna get with that homework or what? And also, y'all, when we was talking about
what they say.
Right.
you look like, check the book of Jubilees, you'll see that Hagar went all the way of Sarah. She was trained by Sarah, and Sarah loved her. It says she followed everything until she got pregnant. That changed the game.
And see, this is one of the things that brings about issues amongst multiple marriages.
Yeah.
That reason why the Most High said those who are in positions of leadership in the congregation should be only married unto one wife.
Yeah.
Because like Paul says in 1 Corinthians 7, that he that's married unto a wife has the courage of the world, and he that's married unto that's not has the courage of the Most High. I'm not saying that a married man does not care for the Most High.
Right. But he's got to
But he
get
has
with
to
another.
attend to a lot of other issues.
And you got 5 of them?
That's less time for the Most High.
Rub my back. Damn, I just got through rubbing her back. And the next one's standing like this too.
Well, I want to go study the scripture. Oh, you better get over here.
And all of them got cramps at the same time. Because they syncing up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because my wife said that sometimes when multiple women are in the same vicinity, that they're hormones.
They tell you that in the penitentiary, it happened in the penitentiary.
I got 5 younger sisters.
Look, somebody lost their wireless iPhone earpiece. You got one, but I got the other one right here, so I'm gonna leave it up here, y'all. I ain't gonna take it. But whoever lost that was somebody out there sitting at the table watching security.
That's probably Thomas.
Thomas ain't this in here.
He did. Oh, did he? Oh.
Well, it may be his. He may have was talking about something else. But it's right here, y'all. Y'all got it. Shouts out to the worldwide family. Want to say also, y'all, we got the Passover coming up, y'all, April 8th. I got tickets right now. I can get you on the list. If you ain't got the paper right now, just get on the list, y'all, because ain't no money at the door. The only thing we got, and for our family that's traveling to St. Louis, get at me, hit me on the on my email, judah@aol.com, and send me who's gonna make the travel to St. Louis. We'll make provisions for you. We'll get everything set up. Your tickets will be here. We'll send you the information for y'all who have been to St. Louis. Already know the routine. But any new people that comes, that want to come and fellowship with us for the Passover, we got a certain amount of slots, and we're gonna cut it off at a certain time, y'all. So get in where you fit in. Some of y'all already know the routine, especially our family. We need to get this understood, y'all. We are less than 2 months out. So we got to get prepped, we got to get prepared, and then we got to hit the stove so we can be accountable, and that our hospitality don't go short. We can't have nobody traveling across half the country, and when they in the line, 20 people in front of them, and they look back and say, ain't no more lane, ain't no more this. Can't have that type of hospitality. So y'all, we got to keep a strict line. And all we saying, if you ain't got it now, just get your name on the list, y'all, so we know how much food we got to buy. Right. Any of y'all need tickets before y'all leave here, holler at me. Everybody else out there in live stream land, holler at me by email. Tubai give y'all all the information you need. And sister, the House of Boaz, Sister Naomi, they put out the list of the cost price. The day is on, all the information there. You send it to your email. Don't wait till the last minute, because if you show up there tomorrow, can I buy a ticket at the door? Nope.
Your oil ain't got no lamp.
Ain't got no lamp, ain't got no oil in it. No. Because what it'll do, you gonna be first in line, and the people that did what they supposed to do gonna be looking, ain't no more. And here we got that shit right.
And we just talked about that.
Yeah.
We just went over that.
Be quick.
They say anything out there too by anything.
Get it slapped.
Everybody just saying shalom and goodbye pretty much. For the
Shalom, and thank y'all, worldwide family, our family out of King George, our families on the East Coast, Sister Ada, Big Trucker's wife, all y'all for the continue to support us. Thank y'all, and thank our congregation, y'all, because y'all do a great job.
All praise.
Y'all do an excellent job.
All right, y'all. We're going to get this closed in prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahshua HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 143rd chapter, it reads, Hear my prayer, O Yahweh. Give ear to my supplications. In thy faithfulness, answer me, and in thy righteousness. And enter not into judgment with thy servants, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy hath persecuted my soul. He hath smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness, as those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the work of thy hands.
Yes, sir.
I stretch forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirsteth after thee as a thirsty land. Selah.
Selah.
Hear me speedily, O Yahweh. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like them that go down into the pit. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning. For in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk.
That's right.
For I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Elohim. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Quicken me, O Yahweh, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake. Bring my soul out of trouble, and of thy mercy cut off all mine enemies, and destroy all them that afflict my soul. For I am thy servant.
Yes.
Hallelujah!